Making their first trip to Camden Yards to take on the Orioles for 3, a team that right now is struggling. And they are without their best player. Albert Pujols is injured and out. For the young Zach Britton, he is becoming the ace of the Orioles staff. Interleague play continues. Next, the Cardinals and the O's. It's the Orioles on Masson, and the series begins against the St. Louis Cardinals, who for the first time in their history play a game in Baltimore during the regular season. And for the Orioles, they hope they'll greet the Cardinals with the booming bats that they had in that last series they won against the Reds. Hi, everybody. I'm Gary Thorne, and welcome. For the Orioles, indeed, the bats are there. It's heating up just as was predicted, along with the weather. Lee, in particular, Markakis on the 16-game hit streak. The Orioles are getting the runs. But the problem right now for the Orioles is the young development of this pitching staff. It's not getting the job done that the Orioles hitters need to combine for W's. Take a look at the numbers for the Orioles starters coming into this series. In the month of June, they are .500. ERA high at 4.9. Really troublesome. The innings pitched 5.1. Got to get more out of the starters, or this bullpen really is going to be overused. Opponent batting average is high, although doable. And the bullpen ERA has been exceptionally good. The last starter to reach the 7th inning, that was Jeremy Guthrie, and it was back on June 21. So it's the continuing maturation process of the young pitchers on the staff.
Well, it really is. You know, Zach Britton's going to pitch tonight for the Orioles, and even in the games he's pitched poorly, there's been maybe the grand slam against Toronto, the 3-run home run against Oakland. Other than that, he's done a great job. Number one, understanding what he does well, which is sink the ball. Number two, even when he got knocked around in his major league debut down in Tampa Bay, didn't stop throwing strikes. So he can get you into the 7th inning if you play good defense. Blake Davis made a big error. They lose in Pittsburgh. Mark Reynolds struggling at third base. If they play well behind him tonight, certainly capable of giving you exactly what we just talked about, innings.
All right, and Zach Britton is turning into the bright young star that everybody hoped here at the Orioles he would be. He's moving up there among the leaders in innings pitched, fewest hits surrendered, and the opponent batting average. I mean, he has become the kind of pitcher really that the Orioles want to see.
Well, he's left-handed, and he matches up well. I mean, we look at Lance Berkman comes in, he's a much better hitter from the left side. Not that he can't hit right-handed, so it's great to have left-handers. They want him to pitch well tonight, and then Mattis to get back on track.
All right, Cardinals come in struggling right now. With or without Pujols, they were having some troubles. Without him, it's even harder. Neither of those guys is going to play, but folks, both of them can play some pretty good baseball. Orioles baseball on Masson is brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Southwest Airlines' new Rapid Rewards. Unlimited reward seats and no blackout dates. It is a summer evening, as it has been a summer day here in Baltimore. Take a look at our train game time temperature, brought to you by Train. Visit Train.com for an independent train comfort specialist dealer near you. It's hard to stop the train. 89, humidity up, chance of thunderstorms for this evening. And let's take a look at the starting lineup for Tony La Russa's St. Louis Cardinals. Terrio, Jay, and Holiday. Berkman, Freeze, who's coming off the DL. Rasmus, Molina, Hamilton, and Nick Pundu coming off the DL. Lance Berkman against the O's. Some games and some numbers.
And let's take a look at our AFCIA scouting report tonight, brought to you by AFCIA. Visit AFCIA.org, the Association for IT Pros. Well, no Holiday. Of course, the Cards struggling, but they do have Matt Holliday, terrific hitter, almost 400 on the road. On the down low, almost 2-1. Ground balls versus fly balls, keep throwing them, and then loves to pitch here at Camden Yards, 4-2 with a very low ERA, 2.47 runs, 6-5. Easily could be 9-5, even maybe 10-11 wins if they got him some run support and play good defense behind him.
Zach Britton ready to go, and the pitch will be taken inside by Ryan Terrio, the starting shortstop for the Cardinals, with a very good .293 batting average coming into the series. The Cardinals are coming off 3 consecutive losses, a losing streak against Toronto, in which they hit only .194 as a team and had only 5 RBIs and 2 home runs. Towards the gap in left center, Luke Scott will come over, and a couple of pitches, and the first out is recorded.
Take a look at the Oriole defense here at Camden Yards. And again, this park playing very small over the weekend with the Reds in. Scott, Jones, Markakis, that's your outfield. Reynolds, Hardy, Robert Andino, Blake Davis back on the bench, at least for tonight, down at second base. Derek Lee, great defender, and then one of the best throwing catchers and receivers in his 3rd year. Matt Wieters doing the catching.
And the pitch will be taken up high. Jay, a left-hander with a 3-game hit streak, coming in at .306 now. Actually, to the benefit of Britton, if you go by the numbers, the left-handers have struggled. They're hitting only .193 off him, and the right-handers at .267. So some lefties in this lineup tonight. Well, you've got Jay, Rasmus, Hamilton, all left-handers. And a breaking ball that was away, and it is not a strike. Down at third base, Dan Bellino. And a 2-ball, 1-strike count on Jay. John Jay, 105 games last year in his rookie season, played all of the outfield positions. He's making the start in right field now. And he'll foul that one back. And it's 2 balls and 2 strikes. Here's what we were talking about. Teams struggling, 8-15, the worst record in June in the 15 years La Russa's been here. Batting average down, runner in scoring position, numbers way up. They're not getting anybody on. On base percentage, .298, and a .495 ERA. That is the highest in June in the majors. And that takes care of Jay.
Yeah, he had his one pitch to hit, fouled it off, 2-1 fastball, and then, I think the big difference that I have seen in Zach Britton, a lot more confidence in that slider as this season has progressed. Early on, sinkers and changeups, the league adjusts. Now you have a young pitcher that has the capability of adjusting. What a great pitch that was.
Our pitch track sponsored by Papa John's. Order online at papajohns.com. Better ingredients, better pizza, Papa John's. And that will bring up Holiday. Very few players could possibly show more sock than does Matt Holliday. And I'm not talking about the bat. I'm talking about his socks.
Right. Well, he's got all kinds of sock.
He can hit the ball. He is their leader in about every offensive category. Again, he's an all-star, leads the team on base percentage and in the on-base and slugging percentage numbers. And he came up intentionally wanting to take a couple of pitches here off Britton because the first 2 outs had been recorded so quickly. He's going to make Zach work a little bit here. The 2-1 delivery to him, and that's going to catch the inside corner.
Yeah, Larry Vanover doing the umpiring. So again, if you're a sinker baller and you want to live at the knees, nice to have him call that low strike. We'll see how that strike zone is as this game progresses.
2-2 delivery on the way. Holiday will take it up high. That was close. And he got him. That was close enough. Britton, a very strong inning as he picks up a couple of strikeouts. We'll take a look at the O's lineup in a minute. first inning runs in the 16 starts now he's made. Let's take a look at the starting lineup for the Orioles, brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Hardy, Markakis, Jones, Guerrero, Wieters, and Lee, Scott, Reynolds, and Andino. J.J. Hardy, power on.
And our FCS scouting report on Kyle Loesch. Efficient. The lowest amount of pitches per inning, only 14 in the National League, number 2 in the major leagues. Long time coming. Last pitched here as a Twin back in 2004, and then just as the Cardinals have struggled in June, he is 0-2 this month, and the ERA very, very high.
Loesch ready to go, and J.J. Hardy will take it for a strike.
Yeah, there are those numbers, 7-2 coming into this month, and again, a very presentable year. You can see throws a lot of strikes, throws a lot of ground balls.
His ERA, despite the month of June at 2.91, is still the 9th best ERA in the National League, and a 7-4 record, as Jim said, to go along with it. He's been especially tough on the road. He is 5-1 on the road, and his ERA is 2.9 in road games. 0-2 count on Hardy. He's 3 for 9 off Loesch, and inside corner, and see him.
Well, in, and then away, and then watch this pitch. Molina slides in, and he hits that inside corner, and you can look at J.J. Hardy looking down. Boy, it's tough when you establish away, and then you just can hit that inside black. There's a little black edge around the plate.
Buck Showalter said before the game tonight, we were talking about the matchup with Loesch and Britton. He said, I hope fans understand how good this is. Here is Nick Markakis, a 16-game hit streak for Nick. And that will be a little low for a ball. The numbers during the streak. Career high is 17, so if he gets one in this one, he'll reach that for the 3rd time in his career, 17-game hit streak. He's had 8 multi-hit games during the streak. Buck Showalter says these are 2 of the best pitchers at what they do that I know of. He says they both stay out of the middle of the plate. They both understand who they are and how to get the job done with the sinker stuff. And he said this is a matchup, he said, I'm really interested to watch. 1-1 delivery, and Markakis will take it. It's in there for a strike, 1-2.
Yeah, the difference, of course, Loesch is 32. Jack Britton, as we look at him right here, is 23. With this will be his 16th start, and Kyle Loesch is up there in the 3, just a little over 300 lifetime starts.
Here's the 1-2 delivery. Loesch made his name in Minnesota, where he was an outstanding starter on their staff for a number of years. Then Cincinnati, Philadelphia, and the Cardinals. He joined the Cardinals in 2008. His major league record is 95 wins and 102 losses.
Now, you always think when you talk about Indian tribes, they have the Magic Man. Well, the Magic Man sits over on the Cardinal bench, and that's Dave Duncan, their pitching coach. And you went from 6-12 to 15-6 when he came over with Dave Duncan.
Just missed inside. So Loesch takes it to 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Because Loesch was a hard thrower. We saw him in Minnesota, a guy that they wondered, won a bunch of games, won 14 one year, but they said, he ought to be better. But then he matured. He understood how to pitch, and he's done a terrific job for him when he's healthy.
And that's going to be a 17-game hit streak, and it will get by Jay. Plays it, or tried to play it off the wall, couldn't do it. Markakis will stay at second base, and Nick has equaled his career high for the 3rd time, a 17-game hit streak.
Well, you're seeing a very confident hitter, and Kyle Loesch is going to try to come in. He does throw a cut fastball, try to come in. This ball just runs back over the plate, and again, bat spree, just such a balanced swing over the last 3 weeks, and quickly you can see up on the bat. And Jay had all kinds of trouble.
So Nick to second, and our Volkswagen Super Slow-Mo brought to you by Volkswagen Autobahn All Event. Hurry in before the deals.
That's probably not an error, because once it got by him, it's going to be a double anyway.
Now Jones with the RBI chance, and Adam will take the pitch. It is a double, at least for the moment, for Nick Markakis.
And Adam Jones turned around to Larry Vanover and said, okay, it's going to be that kind of strike zone. I mean, that ball maybe 2 inches off the outside corner. Start him off with a get-me-over curveball.
0-1 count. And he'll reach a bit for that one. It'll go off the end of the bat. And the count goes to 2 strikes from Loesch. Of course, this month for Adam has been spectacular. He's hitting .308 in June. He has had seven home runs in June. And he's pumped that average with runners in scoring position up, while the overall number in that department for the Orioles has gone down. Orioles are now 4th in the American League. That average with runners in scoring position. Molina will set up outside. Molina's going to test that strike zone. I mean, you're talking about a Gold Glove all-star catcher. He's been around a long time, and when he sees things like this, he's going to see just how far Larry Vanover is willing to go with it.
And then you got a pitcher that can do that. He can execute those type of pitches. It kind of, Orioles will go to Atlanta. That's what they used to do and still do.
1-2 and jammed him.
So you know, if you're Adam Jones and you've been swinging the bat so well, but you've been getting a lot of pitches to hit. Tonight, first pitch a little bit outside. You chase the second one because it's already been established it's going to be a strike. And then Kyle Lohse just runs it in on his hands.
For Adam in the RBI department, he too is he's driving those numbers up. He has driven in at least one in 7 of the last 8 ball games. He's had 9 RBIs in the last 8 games. 1-2 delivery, and there's the location they're testing, and the count goes to 2-2.
And again, trying to just throw it off the periphery of the plate, and you can see it's well outside, right on that chalk line of the left-handed batter's box.
You see Lohse already how effective he can be location-wise. Tony La Russa was talking about that before the game. He said he doesn't know what the middle of the plate is. Pitch is going to miss down low, and Jones works into a 3-ball 2-strike count.
But Gary, one of our, I think, key points was again the lowest per inning pitch count in the National League at 14. He's already over that at 15. So this bullpen has struggled. Now, they are 13th out of 16th in the National League. So you want Kyle Lohse out of there quickly as you can. Pitch count can have something to do with that.
3-ball 2-strike count. Markakis is at second base. Adam Jones goes to right. Jay going over. He's got room. Markakis will tag. He's going to move over to third base. There'll be no throw. So Jones gets the ball hit hard, but Jay able to go over there and hang on to it in the corner, and there are 2 down.
Yeah, take a look at the Cardinals defense. Matt Holliday in left, Colby Erasmus in center, John Jay in right. David Freese right out of the DL, broken left hand. He's back. Theriot Punto, who's a great defender. Berkman over at first, and then the Gold Glover behind the dish for the Cardinals, Yadier Molina.
Here is Vladimir Guerrero, the designated hitter with a long history against the Cardinals. A .285 career average with 12 home runs. Strike called, and boy, that's one even Vladimir with his swing would have a hard time getting a bat on.
Well, the good news here, and again, Lohse can pitch to both sides of the plate. He's not throwing 95 because the book on Vladdy, who hadn't hit a home run, one home run in his last 24th game, run the ball in on him.
There's the 0-1 delivery, and that's what he does, and misses inside.
But there's a big difference being able to do that at 95 once you get ahead and have him chase, because he's a very aggressive hitter, in 89, 90. So again, you will see pretty good lifetime numbers. That doesn't really mean how you're doing now, whether you're pitching or hitting, but you've got to like this matchup for the O's.
For the first time today, Buck Showalter broached the subject of the production by Guerrero in the number 4 spot. And most of the things Buck says you have to read between the lines. But he said for the first time, yes, we're concerned. And if there's a change that needs to be made, we're going to think about doing it. Which means they're not getting the numbers from Vladdy they want in the RBI department in the number 4 spot. That one right off the end of the bat. And there's what that expanded plate does. Vladdy had to go out. He couldn't possibly let it go by. No runs, 1 hit. Base runner left on. He completed 1. No score. Our game is Jocelyn Martindale from Silver Spring. For every double play the Orioles turn, Jocelyn, you get $1,000 from the Maryland Lottery. See how you can turn double plays into cash and win some great prizes. Just go to mdlottery.com/double play. 3-game set against the Cardinals. Lifetime. Orioles have won 2 against the St. Louis Cardinals, losing 3. They played 1 exhibition game here over the years in Baltimore against one another, but no regular season game prior to this one. And the pitch will be taken inside for a ball. Another one of the offensive leaders, Lance Berkman, one of the National League's fine hitters over the past decade. I mean, this guy's got power, plays the ball to all fields. 14 out of 18 home runs hit on the road, leading the National League in that department. Swung on and missed, and a 1-ball, 1-strike count.
Yeah, 345 lifetime home runs, and then 300 from the other side of the plate. So always a good hitter from both sides, but his power numbers better hitting left-handed.
That one in the air to right center field. Jones gets back, and Berkman is retired. One away, second inning.
Yeah, you're wondering after Zach Britton watched that weekend, Orioles hit 9 home runs in 3 games. What the Reds hit 5 of them on Saturday night. Every fly ball kind of gets your heart going. Kind of like pitching in Fenway Park. Of course, everybody in Fenway gets on their feet every time the ball goes in the air. That's the way it was here at Camden Yards over the weekend.
Orioles, of course, have used the homer to account for a lot of runs of late. We'll see whether that continues here with the 9 home runs and 12 runs coming off those 9 homers. It's a big-time offensive number. The Orioles in the series against Cincinnati, it's only the 2nd series for the Orioles this year in which they scored 17 or more runs. Freeze at the plate, and the 0-1 delivery to him. That will be taken for a strike. 0-2 quickly. David Freese getting back into action. Cardinals have been limited by injuries. Freese and Punto the latest. Freese activated today, missed 51 games with a fracture to his left hand. And they're really happy that he's back, and he's going to play at third base. Nick Punto, of course, is in at second base. The injuries, Tony was saying before the game today, not only took his starters out, but he said, I ended up with no bench. So they didn't have any options. There was really nowhere to go. We had minor league players up, but they weren't the kind that I could use on an ongoing basis, so I kind of got stuck.
Yeah, your bench guys were playing. They were starting. This guy, he's always hit in the minor leagues. Last year, ankle surgery, both ankles. You saw the numbers, over 400 against left-handed pitching. So they're happy to get him back.
2-2 delivery is a slow roller. Reynolds. The only way he's going to get Freeze, he's got good speed. That'll be a base hit. First hit off Britton. Yeah,
probably with less than 2 strikes, and this is a 1-2 pitch right here. You're probably playing a little bit, maybe a step in, and and again, if you catch the ball, maybe you have a chance, but if you don't catch it, it's kind of a moot point. Tendency to rush because you don't have a whole lot of time.
Plus, Mark's error numbers are being written and talked about, so he knows that. So that's a little, every time you get one of those, he's trying to make a big play. So Freeze is on. Here's Colby Rasmus. And Rasmus will take it for a ball. Left-handed hitter, hitting .264 off lefties, about 5 points better than he is off the right-handers this year. So he stays in the games. Freeze, very short lead, at least to start over there at first base. 1-0 delivery, and that will be taken down low, and the count goes to 2-0.
Yeah, Tony La Russa, his skipper, is hoping that you get a count like this, and again, 1 out of the 6 home runs hitting against lefties, high average you talked about, and maybe you can run into a fastball. And of course, Zach Britton saying, I'm just going to execute fastball down and away. That's where Wieters is going.
And it'll be fouled off in the big uppercut.
But again, that is the strength of Zach Britton. He missed his target by a foot, but the difference is he had great sink on it. So again, instead of just being flat in the middle of the plate, it's still a very effective pitch.
St. Louis Cardinals come in with the best average in the National League, and they are second in runs, 7th in homers. They do it through walks and on base percentage, getting people on and then moving them around. They've had the 3rd most walks of any National League team and the 2nd fewest strikeouts. So they're not going to help you at the plate. 3 ball, 1 strike count is kind of the reverse of what we've always thought of with Cardinal teams. Now this year it's about winning with the bats in an organization that's always won with the arms. Again, the short lead, 3-1 delivery, and that's in the air to right field, way up in the air. Nick Markakis coming over, and it is a foul ball by just that much.
Well, that's what I was talking about. Work your way into a hitter's count. 2-0, now 3-1, now 3-2. You get a young pitcher. He's still trying to just make quality pitches. Hope that the ball will sink. That one did, and then you get a little bit lucky. They get unlucky, and Zach Britton says, okay. And it's such an information pitch. You know, if you make the same pitch, the consequences are not good, so you got to make a better one.
Rasmus comes in with a 4-game hit streak, 5 for 13 during the streak. 3-2 delivery, and he's on with a walk. Britton surrenders, and there are runners at first and second.
Well, Matt Wieters has done a terrific job of presenting it to the umpire. But again, you can't present something that's about 3 inches off the outside corner.
So that will bring up Molina. One of the great arms in the game behind the plate. Yadier Molina with very fine offensive numbers. See the 294 he has put up so far this year. He's hitting 259 off the lefties and 50 points higher off right-handers. 1 down. Right now, Britton leads, or is tied for the lead in ground ball double plays. He'd like to get one right here, while the Cardinals are number 1 with runners in scoring position.
And Molina almost at 300 at 290. So again, not a lot of power, but again, a guy that uses the field very well. And you know, it's funny, I was talking to Mark McGuire, who's their hitting instructor, and he said, not that Molina is that young, but because he's been around, but he said hitters, until you get to 2 strikes, they have to have a realization of what their hot zone is, what you can handle and what you can't. And the more often you can recognize what it is, better hitter you're going to be.
There's McGuire. 1-0 delivery, and that'll be inside out to right field. Nick Markakis going over towards the corner. He's got it. Freeze will tag. He will move over to third base, but a big second out. Note here, the outs are coming on fly balls the first 2 innings. Orioles Cardinals continue this interleague series tomorrow, 7:05. Hope you'll get out and see these great ball games with the Cardinals here for the first time ever. 888-848-BIRD, Orioles.com for tickets. Matt Wieters giving the signs to the infield. Designated hitter. This is Mark Hamilton coming to the plate. Hamilton 2 for 6 during their last homestand. Came up from Memphis, their AAA team, where he was hitting .385 with 2 home runs in 27 games. With Albert Pujols out, Berkman's playing over at first base. Hamilton getting some DH time, and he will take the pitch for a strike.
Yeah,
Hamilton's
big swing,
had only
yeah.
8 at-bats against lefties.
Exactly. He's a guy that, again, you're a platoon. He's one of their pinch hits guys. What, he had 23 at-bats as a pinch hitter, 5 hits already. So you try to match him up, but again, because of injuries, he is in the lineup.
0-1 count, runners off first and third. Long hold. Pitch will be down low. Wieters blocking it.
Yeah,
Buck Showalter was talking about Matt before the game today. There aren't many people who beat Buck to the ballpark. Buck said today, I came in, and sitting there in front in the video room is Matt Wieters going over the Cardinal hitters before I even got to the ballpark.
Yeah, Jim Hunter asked him today, he said, what does interleague play mean to you? He said, I got to do a lot more work to prepare.
Guys that you haven't seen, and that's what Wieters does. 1-1. And swung on and miss. 1-2.
Yeah, Zach Britton saying, if I can do, and you mentioned the 193 number, what he's done against lefties, if I can do what I can do, I have a good chance to get out of this inning. And then, of course, Tony La Russa is sitting there saying, boy, we need to change something. You know, they've only won 3 of our last 15. I need this guy, even though it's not the ideal matchup, to get lucky, get a base hit.
1-2 delivery, and again it will be blocked. Quinto, the number 9 hitter, switch hitter, is waiting on deck. 1 ball, 2 strike count. Zach Britton here at home, the 8th best home earned run average in the American League at .247. Zach's going to try and take advantage of that. He's got a 4-2 record this year at home. Zach now 6 wins, 5 losses in his career. 2-ball, 2-strike delivery on the way, and he did get lucky. A base hit into center field. Freese will score. Rasmus will go to third, and a 2-out RBI, and the Cardinals are on the board 1-0.
Well, I don't know too many left-hand hitters, young or old, that aren't good low ball hitters. And eventually, because he misses with the slider, he comes back. Ball's pretty much right down the middle. I guess you get the ground ball, but it's up the middle because it's in the middle of the plate, and the Cardinals on the board.
So Hamilton comes through for them with the RBI, and a big one out of that 8th spot as Freese got on with a single and came around to score. And 1-0. That'll be hit number 2 for the Cardinals.
And just think about this inning. Not only the infield hit, you can't really defend that, but the base on balls to Rasmus. I mean, that really kind of sets up the inning.
Only the 2nd RBI for Hamilton. Here's Nick Punto. Switch hitter, and he's got a base hit into right center field. That's going to bring home Rasmus. Over to third base goes Hamilton, and this is what the Cardinals have done this year. They hit with runners in scoring position when they get them there, and they're doing it here.
Well, you saw a happy Tony La Russa when he learned that Puto and both Freese would be back. Freese gets an infield hit. Again, Puto, he talked about, he came in 8 for 19, 421 with runners in scoring position before he got injured. So he's back in the big leagues driving in runs. 2-0.
That's pretty good. The guy comes back. He had a right forearm strain. He missed 36 games, and the first pitch he sees back, he lines to right center. Now the top of the order, Ryan Theriot. Theriot flied out his first time up. Cardinals with a 2-0 lead.
And another guy with great runners in scoring position numbers, 339.
Theriot's got an RBI chance with that lead runner at third. Hamilton available to him. Over at first base with the RBI, Nick Punto has got a pretty good lead. He's getting a read on Britton. And the delivery will be swung on and missed by Theriot.
Yeah, good changeup down and away, and Theriot swings through it. But just think about it. I mean, the irony of this whole series, the Cardinals were 11 over, now they're 3. Not playing well. The Orioles at 35 and 40. 5 games under 500. Both of these teams probably saying, boy, we can get back on track if we can beat these teams.
Yep. Cardinals are only 3 games out of first place, and another base hit. 3 consecutive singles with 2 down, and the Cardinals have a 3-0 lead.
And they've all been pretty consistently back up the middle. Again, Mark McGuire, their hitting instructor, says, hey, wear it out the pitcher's chest. That's your intention. Drive it back up the middle. That's what Hamilton did. That's what Punto did. And now that's what Theriot does. So 3 quality at bats. They got good pitches to hit and didn't miss them.
Theriot gets the RBI, his 27th of the year, and that will bring the visit to the mound. Zach Britton coming off the game in Pittsburgh, where he gave up 5 runs, 3 of them earned on 7 hits over 6 innings. For Zach, he's had only 1 win in his last 5 starts, a win, a loss, and 3 no decisions in the last 5 starts for him. And as I noted, when the outs here in the game have come on fly balls, that's not a good sign for Zach Britton.
Yeah, 10
line drives.
10 batters and only 1 ground ball, and that was the one with 2 outs up the middle for the base hit.
Here is John Jay, who will take the pitch inside for a ball. Jay was a strikeout victim his first time up.
And whether you're young or, again, you're old, and again, Britton 23, sometimes the sinker ballers takes a while to get into that rhythm, and they haven't let him get into any kind of rhythm.
And that pitch will be in there for a strike. Generally, fly ball hitting teams have the advantage against sinker ball pitchers. The Cardinals are kind of in the middle on that. They're a line drive hitting team, if you will, overall. 1-1 delivery is slashed foul, skimming across the top of the dugout, and a 1-ball 2-strike count on Jay. John Jay finishing up last year with a 300 average and 287 at bats. 27 RBIs for him, 4 home runs. He's got 2 on. Quinto and Terrio. Cardinals with 3 runs in, 4 hits, and a walk in the inning. 2 down, though. Britton, the 1-2 delivery, and that's going to miss down low.
Yeah, just has not been able against left-handers, and it started with Hamilton and even Rasmus, who he walked, been able to get that breaking ball over when he needed to be able to execute the proper pitch. Boy, it's so frustrating when you're on the mound. You know what the right pitch is, but you just can't quite throw it where you want to.
2-2 delivery will go to first base. Lee will take it to the bag himself. 8 Cardinals come to the plate in the second inning, and they come away with the 3 runs, picking up 4 hits. 3-0 lead. Luna double and get your second room of flooring free. Call 877-241-LUNA. Yes, the Orioles are top our Luna home run list. Home runs in June. The Orioles and the Yankees and Tigers. Jays, Red Sox, White Sox, and Rangers. 9 home runs in the last series against Cincinnati, accounting for 12 runs.
Yeah, they're trying to tell Matt Holliday there's a ball or something out on the field. Right behind him on the warning track.
Matt's going, where is it?
Yep. Whatever it is, yeah, he goes, I'll have to go get that.
Zach Britton coming into the ball game tonight with 2 outs.
No, it's a cup, not even a baseball. Looked like a baseball.
Piece of paper. I don't think you can get it that far. Zach Britton coming into tonight with 2 outs. The batting average against him was .224. In the second inning, the Cardinals came away with 3 2-out hits. Here's Matt Waiters. Slosh will get it in there for a strike. Matt with the .262 and the 7 home runs. Continuing to hit the ball hard, picking up extra base hits for the Orioles. Here's the 0-1 delivery. For Loesch, it really hasn't mattered much, right or left-handers. .233 the lefties, .231 the righties, and both sides 5 home runs. Can't get much closer than that in that department. 1 ball, 1 strike delivery. Wieters reaching. That goes to left, not deep. Holliday with a paper in his pocket didn't slow him down. And he makes the catch.
Now a nice little changeup gets Matt Wieters off that fastball. So you give a veteran pitcher, he gets a little bit over 4 runs a game anyway, so they got him early, or at least 3 of them.
D. Lee coming up. And as predicted, the hot bat coming with the months of the season going by. 3-run homer Sunday. It was his 6th of the year. And he will take the pitch for a strike. Lee over the last 9 games hitting at .375. 2 home runs and 7 RBIs in the last 9. The 0-1 pitch, working for the outside corner, and missed it.
Yeah, he had the big hit. I mean, not only the game-winning hit on Friday, obviously huge, to win that extra inning game 5-4 in the 12th, but the 3-run home run on Sunday. And again, Loesch is going to stay out of the middle of the plate. I mean, Dave Duncan was talking about it. He said the key to pitching, whether it's Kyle Loesch or we'll see Chris Carpenter tomorrow night, you know, if you're going to cut the fastball, use it off the plate, but stay out of the middle of the plate.
1-2 jammed him, and that's going to be a base hit. He muscled that one. Lee has got more at-bats than anyone else of the Orioles against Loesch, and that is his 10th hit. He's 10 for 24 with 2 home runs off Kyle Loesch.
And he'll get the ball in. Molina is going to come in, except that he does not throw over 90 miles per hour. So again, very much like Sunday afternoon, able, because of the lack of velocity, be able to get to the barrel of the bat to the ball, and that's of course when you're pitching you want to refrain from that, and when you're hitting that's what you want to do as often as you can.
Orioles get their second hit, and here is Luke Scott, 3 for 11 off Loesch, and they do not put the shift on against him. For Luke, found the home run power solo shot on Sunday, his 9th home run of the season. Luke with 3 in the month of June, and he got all of that one.
He did it off of Aroldis Chapman throwing 97 miles per hour, down from 101 on Friday night.
That's to short, backhanded, gets through. Terrio, base hit. So Luke Scott is on. Terrio trying to backhand that, and it just skipped under his glove.
Gary, I'm not really sure, because that ball was just hit. I mean, screamed out to shortstop. They even had a chance to react. Again, this ball is skidding one hop line drive. You either make it or you don't. He doesn't. Certainly will be a base hit, but hit very hard.
Well, the Orioles get a chance to come right back.
Yeah, you catch it, you're going to grab the bats. If you don't, Orioles have a chance to get back into this game.
Hit number 3, 2 on, 1 down. They've called that an error? Oh my gosh.
Well, what are you thinking about? Come on. Ball was just hit too hard. If that's a routine play in the big leagues, doesn't change anything because he's on, whether it's a hit or an error. But
no, the error charged to Terrio. That's a tough one. So Reynolds gets the RBI opportunity. Reynolds hitting 286 with runners in scoring, 246 rather, with runners in scoring position, 246. He too has been picking up the offensive numbers. Batting average wise, home run wise, solo home run, 14th of the year, coming on Sunday, vying for the lead in the home run department for the Orioles.
That ball was about 430 feet out there into their bullpen off the top of the roof.
That one in the air to center field. Rasmus going back. Runners will tag. Lee will move over to third. Scott's got to go back to first. And the fly ball out is out number 2.
Yeah, off the bat, you think maybe that has a chance. I'm not sure that he got all of it, maybe out on the end of the bat, because it was a slider that was sliding away from him. But definitely a ball that was up. And over the weekend, balls in the air seemed to zoom out of here. And they weren't just home runs. They were long
shots.
Home runs.
Yeah. So 2 down. Loesch again with a chance to get out of the inning. First and third, 2 away. And here's Andino. Andino had only 5 hits in his last 32 at bats. And he will take the breaking ball in for a strike.
Yeah, he's got to do what Mark Hamilton did for the Cards, which is get a big hit. And again, you get Hamilton out. If you're Zach Britton, the inning ends. He gave a base hit. They follow with 2 more. That's why the score is 3-0. Robert, he's playing because Britton is supposed to throw ground balls. Better defending second base than Blake Davis at this point, because Davis is inexperienced out there.
Taken inside. For Loesch this year, real tough to get key hits off him. Runners on, averages 200. Runner in scoring position, it's 224. 2 outs and runners in scoring position, 154. 1 ball, 1 strikeout. Lee and Scott, the base runners.
I'm
One
sure.
ball, 2 strikes.
Yeah, Kyle Loesch will never say this, but when he looked at this lineup, he said, this is the guy that I have to get out. Now it becomes obviously even more critical. Didn't know there was going to be runners at first and third, but he's a guy you circle and say, if I'm going to have a good game, I need to be able to get Robert Andino out.
Here's the 1-2 delivery. And actually, I would think for Andino, this is the most difficult guy to hit against because he can work inside out. And Robert, he just backed him off. Now he'll throw a pitch close, probably not on the plate, and Robert swings at those.
Yep. Well, the only thing is he probably won't throw the ball by you.
And he did. He went outside and he got him. So Loesch will pick up the strikeout. That is his second. No runs, 1 hit, 1 error, and 2 are left on base. Brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Southwest Airlines' new Rapid Rewards, unlimited reward seats and no blackout dates. And by Sonic, America's drive-in. It's better. It's new. It's the new Sonic Good. Gary Thorne, Jim Power here at Camden Yards on a summer night, 89 degrees when we started, as the Cardinals are in for this 3-game set. Zach Britton will try and settle it down. 8 Cardinals to the plate in the second inning, scoring 3 runs on 4 hits and leaving 2 on base. Matt Holliday will lead it off. Holliday, a called out strike victim, his first time up. Cardinals had a 2.5 game lead in their division 15 games ago, and as Jim mentioned, they've won only 3 of the last 15, so they've lost 5.5 games in the standings over a 15-game period.
Well, as you mentioned, they get swept by the Blue Jays in St. Louis, and guy on deck, Lance Berkman, said it's not doomsday. We just have to. It may be 1 game to get him going.
Pops that up. Silo shot for Wieters, maybe. Nope.
You know, and again, this is the game for the Cardinals. Both of these teams, Orioles playing better, obviously, over the weekend. But if you're the Cardinals, you're never going to say it, but the Orioles are a 35-40 team, so you look at this as an opportunity. The Orioles look at it as an opportunity because they don't have Albert Pujols. They've been struggling, but again, it's who plays better. That's who dictates who wins and loses at this level.
Cardinals are 1-5 without Albert Pujols. Hardy's got the big hopper from Holiday and the out. On Thursday, the first 10,000 fans 15 and over at the Cardinal game are going to get the J.J. Hardy Orioles t-shirt presented by Real Street Staffing. That's on Thursday. So we hope you'll get out and get your J.J. Hardy t-shirt. Go to Orioles.com for ticket details. I'm going to show you some numbers on J.J. In fact, we'll try and get him in this inning, Don. Hardy on Hardball News, one of the billion sites that has baseball stuff on it, but which is a pretty good one. They today said J.J. Hardy should be the starting shortstop on the American League All-Star team. Lance Berkman and a swing and a miss, and the reason is they're going by the numbers. If you look at them, He's the guy. Peralta's got a little better average, but nowhere near that OPS number that he's got. Balls put in play, big .324 batting average. His defense has been absolutely spectacular, the best of all of the shortstops in the American League. Derek Jeter is the leader, of course, based on name and coming out of New York. He's the leader in balloting, but Hardy's really deserving, based on performance, of being the starting shortstop. He won't be.
No.
But he's deserving.
He could, conceivably, because Ron Washington is a former shortstop and he will manage the American League. He'll look, if Jeter wins the votes and can't play because of the calf injury, he will look for somebody he wants out there, because it's a big game. I mean, yeah, it's only an exhibition game, but it does, because of politicking, whatever you want to call it, it does dictate who gets the home field advantage. And if I'm an American League team, I want that home field advantage in the World Series, especially when your team is usually built around a designated hitter.
Yet the game is still not played
of course.
that way.
Yeah.
That's the troubling part of it. 3-1 delivery, and Britton's wondering, I've been there for a strike tonight, but not this time. You take a look at the balloting. Right now, the All-Star leaders: Russell Martin, Gonzalez at first, Cano, Jeter, A-Rod, Jose Bautista, Curtis Granderson, Josh Hamilton, and David Ortiz, DH. It'd be tough to argue with most of those except for Jeter, because of the injuries and the numbers and the time played so far. But Derek's the name, and there is the thing about legends going to the All-Star game. I think that's a legitimate issue to talk about.
Boy, he's going to go. He just play.
And that is taken for a strike. Now the balloting will end on the 30th, Thursday at midnight, is the last chance to vote. So as one columnist wrote today, vote late and vote often. You can vote 25 times, and now you got in front of you all the facts pretty much as they're going to be for the deadline. That ball towards the gap in left center field will fall in. David Freese has a base hit. He's 2 for 2 coming off the DL.
Well, you like him to come back because he's a good defensive third baseman, but also he gives you somebody you can match up. And again, he was red hot before that broken hand you talked about that caused him to miss 59 games. So again, Berkman kind of works himself into a walk by taking that pitch. Didn't chase a close pitch 3-1, and now all of a sudden you're off to the races again with a 3-0 lead. A lot of pressure on Zach Britton.
Already troublesome innings for him in the last one, and now again runners at first and second base, only one away. Colby Rasmus again wanting that ground ball for a double play. He's been able to get 14 ground ball double plays, tied for the lead. Cardinals already 3 for 5 with runners in scoring position in the ball game. 1-0 count. Rasmus drew the walk, scored in the second inning. And that pitch will be taken down low, and it's 2-0.
And the same account that caused the walk the last time. 2-0, had a good swing, just missed it, hit it foul. 3-1, had a hit the big long foul ball. It was almost a home run. So again, if you're Zach Britton, even in your brief major league career, what you have to do. It's just having trouble doing it so far tonight.
2-0 delivery on the way. Popped up behind second base. Hardy. He's got it. Infield fly rule in effect. And there are 2 down. These two ball clubs have a history that goes a long, long way back. They, of course, both played in St. Louis, the St. Louis Browns, before they became the Orioles in 1954. Ironically, these two managers have very little history of managing against one another. Both of them were talking about it before the game. They hardly ever get to see one another or have had any time, very little time against one another, yet recognized as two of the outstanding managers in Major League Baseball. Tony in his 33rd year as a manager, 16 with the Cardinals.
And looking for the 2,680th win. What a year. I mean, he's had a Hall of Fame career, no doubt about it. Last time he was here at Camden Yards, he came in with Oakland back in 1995. They swept the Orioles. And the guy, and you can tell you how smart he is. He was a lawyer, and he was smart enough to bring in Dennis Eckersley to save all 3 of those games.
Tony loves managing, often accused of doing too much of it. Because Tony loves to move players around and use the bullpen. He knows what he's doing. Off the end of the bat, a swinging bunt. Britton will tag Molina on the way by to get the out. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, and 2 are left on base. The Cardinals up 3-0. Again, when you come to the ballpark, the official Orioles team store on Utah Street at Camden Yards has been redesigned and restocked. You can stop by for officially licensed team gear, and during every O's home game, open 10 to 5 on non-game days, as well as when the game's going on. And it's great fun to go in. Just take a look around. All kinds of great items to go home with here at the team store. Orioles trying to get back into it now. Here's Hardy, called out on strikes his first time up. Rasmus must have moved 10 steps towards right field as the ball was coming to the plate. Somebody was moving him around out there, and he was in motion. Here's the 1-0 delivery to Hardy, and that is taken outside 2-0.
Well, I think it's pretty evident how Kyle Loesch is going to try to pitch you the majority of the time. He'll come in and out. There's your outfield. Holiday over to left center, but you have to look away till you get to 2 strikes.
That's the second base. Nick Quinto is there and makes the toss over to Britton.
And that's what J.J. Hardy did. He had a good at bat. I mean, he got a pitch. He went right with it. But again, you usually try to pitch to your defense. So when they move Rasmus over to right center field, you get an idea. We'll come in, but only when we get ahead in the count. So again, pitching and defending the same way. That's a good way to have some success.
Nick Markakis extended his hit streak with a double in the first inning to 17 games. It is his career high that he's reached for the 3rd time. He did it back in April and May of 2009, the last time. It is also the current longest streak in the majors. And with it, of course, Nick has been able to up his average, and is going to get close to that 300 mark sooner than later. Berkman will make the toss. Loesch got it. Well, on a who'd have thought screen, Red Sox won just their 2nd game on the road, trailing after the 4th inning. The only team lower than that, the Orioles. They've done it only once. Phillies and Braves, first teams with a shot at being under 3 for an ERA at the All-Star break since 2002. How about Al Albuquerque? Who, you say? Well, according to Jimmy Leland, the savior for the Tigers. A tremendous reliever getting the job done. And the Dodgers, 15-0 victory after they declared for bankruptcy. Celebrating the bankruptcy filing, said one newspaper headline. It's the largest road shutout in interleague play history. Players figuring they're not going to get paid, so we might as well just go out and score some runs.
Yeah, give them your best shot and your last shot. Well, I guess the Players Association came in and said, you will get paid.
You will get paid.
Maybe not on time.
But you will get paid.
No, they didn't say that.
No.
Well, maybe they did. I just don't know about that.
Yeah.
Well, I kind of like it. Frank McCourt, and he wants to, go out and kind of
You get a interim loan for $150 million, which will, the total debt of the Dodgers would be $775 million.
1-1 delivery. And now after they filed, the court filed for bankruptcy. Major League Baseball filed asking the court to dismiss the bankruptcy petition, saying the court has no jurisdiction over a ball club in bankruptcy when Major League Baseball is ready to step in and run it. So you got a red hot argument going now. McCourt and Selig are into it for real. Pitch will miss, 2-2.
And then they asked Mark Cuban, would you be interested in going in? He said, well, I would, but what am I buying? Because you've got like 4 different entities, parking lots. You already borrowed money on those, and the ballpark's worth this.
And McCourt wanted to build housing up. If you've ever been out there at Dodger Stadium, the main entranceway and the parking lot on the other side of it are the beautiful California hills. And they wanted to put some homes in there and build houses and sell them as another way of raising money. That was denied. So who knows? It'll keep MLB New York's office mighty busy. 2-2 delivery on the way, and that's down the line and right, but that will be a foul ball.
Home run hills.
So pretty, isn't it?
Oh, it is. I mean, that's a great. The amazing thing about Dodger Stadium is that when we went there to play them in the World Series, it does, in fact, it's probably in better shape now than it was back in the 60s. They've done a terrific job of maintaining that ballpark.
Beautiful sight.
You used to be able to, when you'd walk through the corridors, you'd go, just fry me some eggs, baby, because I can eat off this. I mean, it was unbelievably clean.
Foul back again. Count will stay at 2 balls and 2 strikes with 2 down. 3-0 lead for the Cardinals. Yes, there are thunderstorms in the area, and we hope they're not in this area.
Yeah, Adam is, he's well aware after the first at bat, and Kyle Loesch has done a great job of establishing that breaking ball. That's why he's late on the fastball, because you just can't sit on anything. And on a couple of other occasions, hasn't used the changeup very much, but 3-2 changeups to get hitters out. He's a pitcher.
2 ball, 2 strike count. They shade Adam a bit to right as well in the outfield. Timeout taken. Adam does not like standing in that frozen position for very long. He probably steps out more often and quicker than most hitters. He just doesn't want to be in there and get into that stayed position. Loesch going back out there, and this time no dice, and a 3 ball, 2 strike count with 2 away. Orioles come in having won 5 of their last 10. Cardinals have won only 3 of their last 10 ball games. They have a 3-game losing streak, and the Cardinals have lost their last 6 road games. 3-2 pitch. Jones takes it, and he's on. Now there is the first walk surrendered by Kyle Loesch.
Yeah, came in with 105 innings, only 19. So he can pinpoint. And that's the kind of break that you may need. Obviously, it's up to Vladimir Guerrero, who's going to step up with 2 outs. But again, the free pass, but it wasn't free. Adam Jones earned that one.
Loesch, the second best walk per 9-inning ratio in the National League. He's given up only 19 walks in 108 innings. And Guerrero, a chopper towards the middle. Terrio is there. He'll go to first base and get the out. No runs, no hits, no errors, and 1 left on, 3 complete here at Camden Yards. 3-0 Cardinals. And tonight's Thirst Inning is brought to you by Budweiser. Great times are waiting. Grab some Buds. We're talking about the history of these two ball clubs. It was 52 years that the St. Louis Browns and the St. Louis Cardinals not only played in St. Louis, but literally only blocks apart. There are two ballparks. And the Browns, if you're a baseball collector, you'll know the St. Louis Browns, while not one of the all-time great franchises with wins and losses, their memorabilia is about as valuable as any around baseball because there's not a lot of it around.
Yeah, came over here after the '53 season. That came the Orioles.
Yeah.
Well, great tradition just in baseball in St. Louis, and you look on the cover of their media guide, Stan the Man, along with Albert Pujols. That's pretty select company for for both of them.
Yeah.
But Stan the Man usual.
One of the game's all-time great hitters
and great guys. Boy, what a nice man
and pretty good harmonica player. Here's the 2-0 delivery to Mark Hamilton, and that will be taken for a strike. Hamilton a single and an RBI.
They got the big hit to get him going with 2 outs. And, of course, his relationship with Baltimore, he was born here.
And good jam shot right there. And Dino's got it. Hamilton is retired, 1 away. Time for our AT&T Mobility Trivia Fact. Did you know tonight is the first time the Orioles have hosted the Cardinals in Baltimore? But the rest of the story, the Cardinals are the last of the 30 Major League Baseball teams to play here in Baltimore. We're talking about regular season games. There was one exhibition game played. Here's Nick Punto. Punto trying to bunt his way on. Pops it up. It'll be a foul ball. Punto is a very good bunter historically. He can push, bunt, drag, pop those balls by the mound towards second base. He's had a history of picking up infield hits that way.
Well, he has a history of coming out of that Twin organization and playing for Ron Gardenhire. So he's a good defender. You can't play on an everyday basis all those winning teams if you don't understand how to play the game. And part of that, as you mentioned, hey, can you move runners over? Can you bunt your way on? Can you hit line drives? That's what you are, a line drive hitter. And that's exactly what he did his last time to drive in a run.
Big breaking ball. He's had very good numbers against the Orioles, a .317 career batting average against the Orioles. This is the 43rd game Nick Punto is playing against the O's. And Zach Britton's pitch will make it a 2-ball 1-strike count. Top of the order, Ryan Theriot waiting on deck. This Cardinal team's faced a lot of left-handers. They're 11 and 12 against left-handed starters. And overall, their average against lefties is .247 compared to .276 off right-handers. Just going through the numbers today, the National League teams, there's got to be some great disparity of left-handed starters in the National League, the American League, because National League teams have all played an inordinate number of games against left-handed starters when you compare it to the American League. I mean, 11 and 12 is the record, and that is not an exceptionally high record in the National League going against left-handed starters. It would be in the American League.
Yeah, I'm wondering if I always wondered again, the numbers, is that again in games that they got decisions in? And I guess the answer is no. It's just games they started.
Yeah.
So it doesn't give you the whole story, but it
does show there are a lot of left-handers starting in the National League, though. 2-ball 2-strike count. Nick Punto waiting on it, and a ground ball to short. Hardy. Now the ground balls, two of them here.
Well, we talked about the fact, and Zach Britton, this is a 16 start he has had, and this is not a bad start because 3 runs, you can still win this game if you get any run support. If we look at the first pitch is not where you want to be. Loesch doing a little bit better job, but he's had 3 bad starts, and 2 of them came on a 3-run home run out in Oakland and a grand slam here against Toronto. JP Aaron Sebio hit a grand slam on a low fastball. Other than that, he has been unbelievably consistent.
Yep. In the air to center off the bat of Ryan Theriot, and Adam Jones almost right to him. He's got it in a good inning. Retires the side in order. 2 out of 4 times he has done that, but in the middle, Cardinals have picked up 3 runs. State of Baseball history brought to you by Verizon Fios. Switch to Fios, the network ahead. To learn more, visit Verizon.com/getFios. On this date, June 28, 1989, the demolition began right here at Camden Yards to make way for the new ballpark. 2007, Craig Biggio playing with Houston, 3,000th hit, 27th to do it. And in 2007 also, Frank Thomas, his 500th career home run. Two big numbers on this date from two outstanding players. And now Camden Yards, still recognized as one of baseball's nicest ballparks. That's going to be a base hit. So Matt Wieters gets the single, hitting in the 5 spot. Wieters on with a leadoff single off Loesch. First leadoff man on.
Yeah, and a little change up, speeds up the bat a little bit, stays on it, gets the foot down. Got to start somewhere. Boy, you need some runs. It looks like Zach Britton has settled down after having that bad second inning. So at least make him think he's got a chance to win tonight.
And now Derek Lee up. Lee had a single his first time up. Takes it outside. Why don't you head over to Facebook.com. Masson Orioles. Do it right now and enter for your chance to win one of 30 Orioles autographed items Masson is giving away all month long. Facebook.com/Masson Orioles. Lee will take it. It is in there for a strike. Derek now 10 for 24 lifetime off Kyle Loesch. And Derek starting to get his average and RBI numbers up a bit. Lee will watch it. It is in there for a strike in the outside corner. That's the one hitters from both sides have questioned all night.
It seemed to be the perfect low and away fastball. And of course, if you're a pitcher, you want it. If you're a hitter, you're hoping it's called a ball, and it wasn't.
1-2 the count. Wieters at first. That one is in the air to left field. 360 turn. Yikes. Holliday's got it.
Well, the ball does hook a lot of times when it's hit to your right. Of course, he turns left over his left shoulder, and then the big thing is, and there you go, he never took his eyes off it. Well, I guess he did unless you're the exorcist, you have to when you do the twist, but obviously he never lost sight of it, able to make it a routine play on a sharply hit ball.
I love the Sox. There's nobody else that even has red showing on this team.
No, but
Holliday does it for all of them.
But that's why he's Matt Holliday.
Here's Luke Scott up, and the pitchers take it inside. I mean, there are lots of players who wear the socks so you can see a little color, but I mean, Matt's got them. And those, I think, are real socks. Those aren't paint-them-on jobs. Those are socks with the colors actually within the material. A lot of them nowadays, they painted on stripes and stuff.
Well, they all have the stripes. It's just you don't see them.
Yeah.
I think maybe they've been calling some low strikes against him. I'm not really sure. I'm going to have to ask him tomorrow.
Ask him that tomorrow. We'll see what he says.
I mean, I'm trying to recall who it was, but actually they used to wear your pants not quite as low as they do now, all the way to the shoe tops. But somebody got a low strike, and he just yanked started rolling them up at home plate. And I believe he got tossed out.
A good chance.
Yep.
That'll do
but
it.
He got his point across to the out.
1 ball, 1 strikeout on Scott. And a big cut on a softer pitch.
Yep, the little changeup. This is the way they try to get him out. A lot of slow stuff, slop it up there. And then again, good movement on it, so he swings through it. Stay away from the fastball.
One ball, 2 strike count. Wieters leadoff single, still on at first base. Another changeup. Punto, Terrio, Berkman. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, nobody left on base. Cardinals, they got 3 runs on 4 hits in the second inning, and those are the ones up. Hollywood Casino, Charlestown Races. Action-packed table games, red-hot slots await at Hollywood Casino, Charlestown Races. Strikeouts by rookie pitchers led by Michael Pineda of Seattle and Jeremy Hellickson. And right there is Zach Britton with 56 coming in. He's added a couple to it tonight on our Hollywood Casino League leaderboard.
Yeah, the ability to strike people out without trying to strike them out, and that's why they like him. There you go. It's something you alluded to. We talked about almost 2-1. Came in about 67% of the balls put in play on the ground. Not early, but again has settled down. And again, the outs have been coming when he's gotten the ball down in strike zone.
John Jay. First ball hitting off the end of the bat. Our trivia question for the night: did John Jay sign the Declaration of Independence? And did he spell it with an H or just J-O-N? Here's the 0-1 delivery to him, and that will be taken down low. 1 ball, 1 strike count. So Britton trying to hold the fort now and let the Orioles offense get going against Loesch, which it has not been able to do yet. 3 runs on 5 hits and 4 left on for the Cardinals. The Orioles have no runs on 3 hits, and they too have left 4 on base. Cardinals are 4-5 in interleague play. Their average in interleague play is only .245. Their overall average .275. So it's kind of funny. Their numbers against interleague play are almost exactly the same as they are against left-handers. I don't know why. That doesn't have anything to do with anything, but they are almost the same for Tony's ball club. Pitch will be taken down low, and Jay gets ahead on the count.
Yeah, their offensive demise started a little bit, obviously in June, so it wasn't always about Albert Pujols, who's been out since the 19th. Of course, Mark McGwire, boy, he was talking about Albert up at Jupiter, where they have spring training, Jupiter, Florida. He was saying, boy, in fact, 11 years ago, he said, wait till you see this kid. And he was talking about Albert Pujols. Was he ever right? He said he work ethic unparalleled, sees everything, asks the right question, pays attention, great focus.
That'll be chopped towards second base, and Dino is there, and indeed Britton is finding the ground ball outs. Let's take a look at our minor league report, brought to you by PNC for the achiever in you. There you see the numbers for Buck Britton, the Bowie infielder this season. Frederick and Bowie, A and AA ball on the year, and some really good numbers for him. Good on base percentage average, 15 doubles, 35 RBIs, and 46 runs scored as a table setter. All of those are very positive numbers. He's doing well out of Lubbock Christian University. Yes, he is the brother, Zach's older brother. Selected in the 35th round, 1,046th overall in 2008.
Yeah, left-handed hitter. So again, what you want to do, you want to get on base and you want to score runs.
That ball is going to fall in for a base hit. So Holiday is on with a single. He's 1 for 3. This one comes with 1 out.
Yeah, normally when Zach Britton, and that's why the second inning was so unusual, he's very much like some of the real good left-handers, the Glavins, the Flanagans, people like that, where you're going to have to get 3 or 4 hits to get a run, and that's exactly what they did. I mean, that's the irony, and he just couldn't get the one lefty out. But he really, again, with a couple of exceptions, a 3-run homer and a grand slam, he's really pitched tough against the opposition. He's made the Orioles think every time he goes out there they have an opportunity to win.
Here is Berkman, 3rd in homers, 5 in RBIs in the National League, and a lot of other categories there. He's among the top 10. Berkman comes in with outstanding road numbers. We showed you he leads the National League in home runs on the road with 14. He is 2nd in RBIs on the road, and he is the only person in the league who's had 2 home runs in a ball game 3 times already this season. 1 strike count on him. He's hitting at 296. And that should be 2. Andino, 1. Hardy, 2. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, and nobody left on. And we've just given away $1,000. Congratulations to Jocelyn Martindale of Silver Spring. You just won $1,000 from the Maryland Lottery Double Play Contest. Cardinals lead 3-0.
Pitching coach of the Cardinals were saying, I said, he was so good early. He said a couple of mistakes. Orioles haven't seen any mistakes yet. And I think Zach Britton, why you like him so much, he has a bad inning, gets some balls up. The Cardinals, to their credit, take advantage of it. He comes right back, doesn't let it bother him. Orioles in the game. What they need is some offense.
And the Orioles were hoping they would continue what was going on against Cincinnati when the bats were really popping here. That hasn't started yet. May need to play a little ball to get it going.
Well, yeah, you're right. I don't know about that. I think they obviously have to get some clutch hits. They haven't got any hits with runners in scoring position tonight. But Kyle Loesch doesn't really make you do anything other than earn your way on, because again, he's got one walk tonight but only 20 on the season.
He's not going to help you in that department. So the Orioles will try and get it going here as Mark Reynolds stands in with that 14 home run mark and 38 RBIs that he's put up so far against Loesch. 0-1 and a slow roller to short. Terrio. Reynolds has flied out and grounded out now. One down in the 5th inning. After he started out throwing more than those 14 pitches per inning Jim talked about, Loesch has settled back in again now and become efficient.
Yeah, we've seen both of the pitchers do it. You can talk about it all you want, but it is hard. Again, first time Kyle Loesch since 2004 has pitched here at Camden Yard. The mound is different, supposed to be alike, but again, when you come in, you got to get yourself adapted. And he's done a great job of it. Struggled in the first. The Orioles, again, had a chance after the double by Nick Markakis, to get on the board, and then again in the second. So it's not like they haven't had opportunities.
That's going to be a base hit. And Dino, who had struck out his first time up, will pick up the one-out single in the 6th inning. Hope you'll get out to the yard. Great place to entertain clients, colleagues, and more with one of the custom suite packages. Private suites available, lots of locations and different varieties of packages available for your company. Find out more about it at Orioles.com/suites or get a private tour at 410-547-6076. People enjoying the ball game from Suites. Hi, wave, wave. That's it. There you go. Thank you so much. Bye-bye. They're on a delay, so I say that, but of course they're not going to hear that till after the camera's off them. So over there now they're dancing and waving and nobody's watching. Hardy's had an 0 for 2 as he has struck out and grounded out.
Yeah, they don't run much on Kyle Loesch. Two attempts all year long, been successful. 27%. Yadier Molina throwing guys out. But again, always a Gold Glove catcher with a good release, very quick release.
Molina, year after year, is at the top of the pile in catchers throwing out base stealers. That's why his percentage is down, because nobody's running against him anymore. 1 ball, 1 strikeout, very short lead at first base. And that's to second. There's one, and oh my gosh. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, 1 base running mistake, and nobody left on. The Cardinals continue to have the 3-0 lead. end, our Home Depot doing more on defense. There's the Orioles double play that ended the 5th inning as Berkman hit into it. Pretty slick around second base. Home Depot more saving, more doing. And then Andino ends up in the double play in the other end, getting taken out at first base. 7-pitch inning as a result for Loesch.
Yeah, play in front of you, so you usually try not to get doubled up on that type of ball, especially when you look at the scoreboard. You're only going one base at a time anyway.
So Freese coming off the DL is 2 for 2. He's had 2 singles and he has scored a run. He, Rasmus, and Molina are coming up for the Cardinals. 3-6-1 for the Cardinals. 0-4-0 for the Orioles. And there's the crew waiting as the rain begins.
Oh.
Big dark clouds.
We need to send this to Florida.
Yeah. Thunderstorms are in the forecast, and here they are.
Yeah, that tells you they're going to be heavy, too, because you get such a great read with the radar systems in almost all the ballparks.
Freese, 28 years old. Opening day last year. First time opening day rostered for him. Ended up playing 70 games and had the ankle injuries Jim was talking about earlier. Really went through some tough times with the ankle operation and then surgery on the other ankle for a bone spur. He had both ankles operated on last year. Here's the 2-2 delivery to him. Great pitch. Wieters will put the tag on. Britton gets a strikeout. That's his 3rd.
Well, now you're seeing the real Zach Britton. And again, I mean, this is what we've seen. We've struggled or they've hit the ball hard. He just, he's got the bulldog mentality for a young pitcher. Boy, you really like that. He does not let a little adversity get in his way. Just comes back and does what you're supposed to do. Get some outs by making quality pitches.
Colby Rasmus threw a walk and scored in the 2nd inning. He's also popped out. Rasmus, a Cardinal slugger. Highest slugging percentage over the past 2 seasons in the National League. Here's the 0-1 delivery to him, and that's why. Oh, my. Hello, Utah. Way back and goodbye home run.
Yeah, I think it got one of those brick pillars. We talked about it the first time up, trying to, again, 2nd home run against left-handed pitching, number 7 on the year. Trying to run into a fastball. And this is what he brings to the Cardinal lineup. Pretty good defender. Good power when he catches up. And boy, does he catch up on this. Looking inside middle. Ball elevated, and he does the rest. A bomb to deep right center field.
Ground ball to second base by Yadier Molina. Molina is out of there, but the Cardinals have another run and a 4-0 lead. As the rain really comes down now. Yeah, hit that pretty good. We're going to get a delay here. So the tarp is being brought out as the rain is falling for real. For Zach Britton, that'll be the 8th home run that he has surrendered on the year. And the 3rd by a left-hander.
Yeah, with a couple of exceptions, Gary, as you know, he's been able to avoid the multi-run home run. So it's only a home run, but the great at-bats they put together and the walk to Rasmus back in that 2nd really made a difference. They're trying to play catch-up baseball. Yeah.
Yep. And Jim, we'll see how long this delay goes as far as both Zach Britton and Kyle Loesch are concerned, staying in the ball game as we are in the 6th inning of this one, and a 4-0 lead for the Cardinals. We'll be right back, but for the moment at least, the thunderstorm is now in charge. With St. Louis on top by a score of 4-0. It has stopped raining. Thunderstorm went through, a brief one, thank goodness, and they are getting the tarp off, and we should be able to get going relatively quickly here. Gary Thorne, Jim Palmer, welcome back, everybody. Decisions made. Jim, Zach Britton is going to come out, and Clay Rapata is going to start when we resume.
Yeah, a lot of off days, so obviously if you're Buck Showalter, you can kind of match up. Zach trying to win his 7th game, but again, they put some great at-bats in the second inning. He would have made some adjustments, but again, this is what they do. They get Freeze back, he gets an infield hit. They get Puno back. When he was on his game and he made good pitches, he got outs. So again, pretty much for Zach, he's a young pitcher. You can see Loesch has outpitched him to this point. It looks like they'll probably go to their bullpen. But again, Zach Britton, it's hard to win, and we saw this in May. They went, 28 in the third innings without scoring a run when he was on the mound. Had a tough time winning. So Rapata will come in. Hamilton, the lefty, this is what he does, gets left-handers out.
So the Orioles will rely on their bullpen, and yet again, the bullpen is asked to do the majority of work here in this ball game. This time, though, not the fault of the starter, just Mother Nature intervening. So Rapata will take his warm-ups, and the Orioles giving up the runs in the second inning. The RBIs were picked up by Hamilton, Punto, and Terrio. That's 8-9-1 in the order. They were consecutive 3 singles in a row when there were 2 down, picking up those runs. Orioles have not been able to get on the board, and Rasmus with a homer in the 6th inning added to it. Now these two teams are going to be playing again tomorrow. Chris Jakubowski will be taking the mound against Chris Carpenter. Our coverage on MASN HD will start at 6:30 with those extra, presented by Verizon 4G LTE, followed by our game coverage at 7. All the access you need right here on MASN. All the ball clubs involved in the interleague frenzy. This is the heavy time of the period for the interleague games. And there are the numbers on the two Chris's who will make the start in the ball game.
Yeah, Chris Carpenter, don't let that 2-7 record. I watched him pitch the other night, beat the Phillies, the one win they got, and he was just outstanding. So, again, a guy that's won 20 games, 19 games. He's a terrific pitcher. And then Chris Jakubowski, he's just happy to be in the big leagues. He's done a nice job. Again, it's a guy that's probably a long man on most pitching staffs, but he's stepped up, got his innings down in Norfolk, and, a chance if the Orioles don't win tonight to stop a losing streak.
Now the Orioles will try and come back here. Maybe Mother Nature's intervention will help the cause. If Loesch is out of there, Tony La Russa would just as soon stay with the starter than go to the bullpen. As we told you, the bullpen has struggled. Rapata's on. There are 2 down, 6th inning. Hamilton will take the pitch, and we are back underway. The home run in the inning with 1 away. Rasmus, his 7th. Then the rain started. Molina grounded out, and then came the delay. Hamilton is singled, grounded out. He is driven in a run. He's the designated hitter for the Cardinals in this interleague game. And Rapata's pitch will miss away, and the count will go to 1 ball and 1 strike.
Well, he got the big hit. He was 1 against left-handers. He came up with 2 outs in that second inning and hit a ground ball single into center field and got it rolling.
And a great off-speed delivery right there. Had him way out in front, 1 and 2.
Well, Clay Rapata is on this ball club to get left-handed hitters out. He's a situational lefty. They're 4 for 34, a very minuscule batting average. Came in on Sunday, made some good pitches, but didn't get him called, would walk in a run.
And another off-speed pitch, and he gets him. So Rapata gets the strikeout in the 6th inning, though. 1 run, 1 hit, no errors, and nobody left, and the Cardinals lead 4-0. there's a smarter way to heat and cool your home. Visit BoschClimate.us to learn more. So a 28-minute rain delay, and both starters are now out of the game. And here's Lance Lynn.
Starter in the minor leagues, a couple of starts early on, 3 scoreless innings up in Toronto, or actually against Toronto in St. Louis over the weekend. So a former starter last year in AAA led the league in strikeouts with 141. So 164 innings last year in AAA as a starter, 13 wins, and 164 innings, 164 hits. So he pitches to contact, and he will try to come in and maintain this 4-0 lead. Orioles got to be happy because Kyle Loesch pitched extremely well. Really mixed up his pitches well tonight.
Lynn out of the University of Mississippi, replacing Loesch, who worked 5 innings and did not give up a run, surrendering just the 4 hits, 1 double, and 3 singles. And now the bullpen goes to work for the Cardinals, and the Orioles go to work, try and get back into it. Nick Markakis, a double in the first inning. He is also grounded out. His hit streak now at a career high 17. And the pitch to him will be taken away for a ball. So Loesch could win his 8th. And on the other end of it, for Zach Britton, who is 6-5, right now could be the losing pitcher if the Orioles don't get back into it. 1-0 delivery, and that'll be fouled off the other way. The Cardinal bullpen, as we said, they've struggled. They are 13th in the National League out of 16 teams with a 4.19 ERA. They have juggled some pitches. Dave Duncan has tried to find the combination to work out there this year. 1-1 is going to be fouled back.
Well, you see a good fastball, 93, with good movement. And see what kind of breaking ball, because this is the ideal count if you're going to throw one, because you don't have to throw it for a strike. You can try to bury it underneath the strike zone and see if Nick will chase.
1-2 the count of Markakis. Nick hitting at 276, and the pitch is in there.
Yeah.
So Lynn comes on and gets a strikeout.
Well, you try to pitch to the way the hitter reacts to you. So late on your fastball, he's hitting it back and over the dugout. Why not try another one? And again, we've seen a ample strike zone, and that ball somewhere around the outside corner, too close to take.
Larry Vanover, the home plate umpire tonight. Adam Jones has walked and flied out. The Orioles have had a couple in scoring position. They got a runner to third in the first inning and a runner to third in the second. And could not move them in, and they have left 4 on base. Sweeping pitches in for strikes.
Hey, he hasn't thrown a ball yet, has he? Nope. University of Mississippi, Lance Lynn. Kind of sounds like a country western name. Don't you think?
Yeehaw.
Of course, as big as he is, he can do anything he wants.
Exactly.
6'5", 250.
And on every team now, we're developing a new part of the bullpen. It was the closer came along, and then the setup guy, and then the hold artist. Now we're getting the long guy. I mean, you always used to have somebody you'd look to for that, but now it's almost essential. The starter's not going deep into the games. And this guy's a former starter working out of the pen, and he's got 2 strikeouts.
Well, that's what he was doing down at AAA, and he had starts, as we mentioned early on, and tonight he just comes in, and that's 3 straight fastballs, 4 to Nick, 3 to Adam Jones, and he's got himself 2 quick strikeouts.
That pitch backed up a little bit.
Well, good movement, and that's what we saw against Markakis. Threw it for the corner, just ran to the outside corner.
Here's Vladimir Guerrero. Lynn was recalled from AAA in the midst of a 6-game winning streak. It was part of his 7-3 record at Memphis. Vladdy will take the pitch, and that outside corner strike is there and has been all night. 1-1. 280. The average for Vladimir Guerrero as he stands in with 2 down and nobody on. Orioles just have not been able to even get started. There's a bloop off the end in the right field. So Guerrero gets a base hit with 2 down in the 6th inning. Oriole Park is the perfect setting for your next group outing. Gather friends, co-workers, colleagues, and have a great night or day here at the ballpark. There are discounted ticket prices for groups as small as 15 and large as 1,000. Camden Yard's a great place for you to take your group. 888-848-BIRD to go to Orioles.com/group.
Well, 77, almost 7,800 at-bats for Vladimir Guerrero. He didn't get fooled. If I'm not going to throw any breaking balls, I'll look for a heater. So at least he gets on for Matt Wieters. Well, you need something.
Single.
Yeah, it's going to have to be a long double to score Guerrero because he doesn't run as well as he used to. But again, you just have to bunch some hits together, and Orioles are going to have to do it against their bullpen.
Matt hitting at 264, and that pitch is going to miss inside. A 1-ball, 1-strike count on Wieters.
It's kind of interesting. It's almost like tonight Kyle Lohse was, again, a veteran pitcher at 32, able to pitch off the perimeter of the plate, and Zach Britton, as a young pitcher, probably threw too many strikes. One of those nice
he got him to chase that one down and away. Again, movement on that ball.
Well, the illusion is, Gary, that it's going to be on the plate, and then and again 6'5", so you got your downward plane. That ball is running about 3 to 4 to 5 inches, and is yet to throw a breaking ball. 13 pitches, all fastballs here in the 6th.
Guerrero on at first base. 1-2 delivery on the way, and he strikes out the side. So Orioles now know who Lance Lynn is. It remains 4-0 Cardinals.
Got our Geico game highlights. A big hit in the 3-run second inning. Mark Hamilton, second hit against left-handers. They come right back. Punto with a base hit, and then Colby Rasmus, great power, 7th home run, second against left-handed pitching to make it 4-0. So a flurry of runs in the second. Rasmus with a walk and the solo home run, and then the Cards have done a better job than the Orioles tonight with runners in scoring position. Kyle Lohse, I guess if you call him a veteran at 32, pitches, or at least out pitches to this point. Zach Britton did a terrific job, and Clay Rapado will stay on to face right-handers, something that he's not been very effective with.
Punto does not hit left-handers. 227 off lefties, limited at bats, 279 the other way. So he'll go against him. Then the top of the order, Terrio, right-hander. Orioles have the bullpen ready to go after Punto. 1-0 count, a 4-0 lead. We go to the 7th inning. Nick Punto with a single and an RBI, and he is grounded out, making his return. Birkin in the bullpen has been warmed up. He's just staying loose out there now, waiting to see what happens on this at bat.
Yeah, right. He's 8 for 11. It's just an amazing number. You think that you got to throw some at him balls. Those are balls that are right at him, so you can get some outs.
That sweeping pitch from first base gives the hitter a great view.
They pick it up a lot more readily than the lefties.
And again, that corner strike. You'd think the hitters by now would not be turning around anymore. It's a strike.
Well, you're still hoping as a hitter that they're going to call it a ball and you get a better pitch to hit. That's a pitcher's pitch and a hitter's count. So you try to lay off them. It's just been an ample strike zone tonight on most occasions.
2-2 delivery on the way and a breaking ball that will just miss.
Just missed knee high down the middle. Take a look at this one. Yep. There's the glove. Just a shade low, apparently. Certainly not off the plate.
Potter ready with the 3-2 delivery. Outfield drawn in. Let's see if they're in far enough. Jones is over and can't get it. Markakis is backing him up. Puto is going to go to third base, and the throw will not be in time. And Adam Jones misjudged that. He thought he had that lined up, and that ball just got air under it, and he never got a glove on it.
Yeah, he goes across instead of taking the line that good center fielders take, and he usually takes, which is to where the ball is. So when you come directly across and the ball carries, and you could see that he's gliding because he thinks he's got it tracked. And then right here, Puto again off the DL, and he's all the way to third, so he hustles it into a triple, but that should have been an out.
Third triple of the year for Nick Puto. That's a big hit.
Yeah, now because of the scoreboard, yeah, you got to play him in. Scoreboard dictates that. Yep.
Against the left-hander, and a throw to third, and boy, Reynolds was not expecting that. Usually that's a sign that's been given already.
Yeah, he's not on the bag. Look how far off. So again, Matt Wieters is kind of like a quarterback throwing it over the middle. You kind of know where your receiver is going to be. At least you think, or you hope he's going to be. And then right there, again, he just had to guide it over to him because he late break the third.
Terrio takes it inside. Infield will stay in against Terrio, who's hitting .329 off left-handers and .281 off righties. So great chance for the Cardinals to add to their lead with a leadoff triple. Terrio already has 1 RBI. That's on the outside corner for a strike.
Well, again, another guy with look at those numbers, wearing out lefties, came in hitting almost .340 with runners in scoring position. And again, as a team, and weren't with us earlier, .300 as a team. The Cardinals done a great job of that.
Cardinals, who came in not hitting well at all, 194 against the Jays, are getting that taken care of in this game. And the pitch will miss, and it goes to 3 balls and 1 strike. At Showalter's Ball Club, trying to put a couple of wins together here. 5 games under 500. 3 ball, 1 strike delivery on the way. Green light, runner stays. Hardy, the backhand, looks and gets the out.
Well, nice play, and again, that's a dual-edged play right there, because Clay Rapata makes a good pitch to a line drive hitter. Terrio's trying to get a ball in the air, and he gets him to hit the sinker to his shortstop.
Don't forget the Mid-Atlantic Sports Report. Tom Davis, Rob Long, Mel Antonin, Phil Wood. All the hot topics around the game. Look-ins at the ballpark. Amber Theo Harris sitting down with Cardinal Lance Berkman as well. Pitch inside. Check it out. 5:30. Right here on Masson, the Mid-Atlantic Sports Report.
And the reason that Rapata, again, right-handers now, 9 for 12 off him. The reason he faced Terrio is because of the numbers Berkman has against left-handers. And Jay would have come up to hit against him if you brought him in.
Nice off-speed pitch. Jay hitting .289 off the lefties, .310 off righties.
Yeah, but this is not your normal lefty. At least that's what your Buck Showalter hopes. Again, 4 for 34 coming in. And lefties were hitting 17 for 42 off Berkman, over 400.
Anything will get him in, and that will get him in. Puto will tag up at third. Luke Scott will make the catch. And a sacrifice fly adds another run, and the Cardinals are up 5-0 as Jay gets the job done. RBI number 40 for Jay. Or 18, I'm sorry. Don't want to double his number on one pitch. And that will be it. Rapata's coming out of there. Berkman will come on. The Cardinals have added a run here in the 7th inning off the leadoff triple by Nick Puto to make it 5-0. with a strikeout, and Jason Birkin's on.
Yeah, his last performance came in a 4-3 ball game. Orioles leading on Friday night. Couple of doubles, Gomes, and then a double and a single. Paul Janisch tied it up. So again, early on, 14 runs in 8 2/3 innings got him down to Norfolk. He did some starting. He has thrown the ball better, made some adjustments, move all the way to the third base side of the pitching rubber to try to get a better angle on his slider. So we'll see as he faces Matt Holliday.
A single, struck out and grounded out. There are 2 down, nobody on, and Holliday will take it for a strike. 317 lifetime hitter coming into this. He's hit 300 or better in each of the last 6 years. And his on-base percentage has gone up each of the last 7. And he takes that one to left center field near the wall, and goodbye, home run. Matt Holliday greets Birkin with a dinger, and another one's up. It is 6-0.
Yep. Well, again, if you're going to miss Albert Pujols for whatever, 6 weeks, whatever it's going to take to come back from the broken radial bone in his arm, you better have Matt Holliday step up. And boy, he steps up to this one down the middle and just torch to left center field. Talk about staying on top of the ball. What a great angle to show you what the bat head does through the strike zone. And he just mashes it into the Orioles. A couple of home runs now for the Cardinals.
Rasmus with his 7th, and Matt Holliday with his 10th. And the Cardinals just keep putting them up. Almost a run per hit now for the Cardinals. Here is Lance Berkman. He has drawn a walk, hit into a double play and grounded out. Berkman, of course, has got some power. He has 18 home runs, ranked 3rd in the National League. He is 5th in RBIs coming into the game. Leads this ball club in slugging and on-base percentage, and is among the top 5 in both in the National League. Birkin's pitch is inside to him.
We saw him last year when he came over to the Yankees, talking about Lance Berkman. Not a lot of bat speed, but then again had the knee problems. A lot of conditioning, running in the offseason, back knee much better. So that's why he's such a more powerful left-handed hitter than 2010.
Of his 18 home runs, 15 have been hit against right-handers and 3 off lefties. Here's the 1-1 delivery, and he'll take the pitch inside. A 2-ball, 1-strike count.
Well, just imagine when you're hitting left-handed, you better be able to load on that backside. And you better be able to get to your front side. And if your knee hurts, you're not physically well, tough to do that.
And he's on as the free pass is surrendered.
Well, this is the problem part of the bullpen. You know, you have a matchup guy in Rapata. But again, it's either is going to be Bergeson or, again, Jason Birkin to pitch that 5th, 6th, 7th inning to get to Jim Johnson and Koji Uehara, or otherwise you're in big trouble the last 3 months of the year.
Orioles have now surrendered a league high 92 home runs on the season. They have passed Kansas City. Kansas City staff had given up the most home runs for the better part of the year. They're at 89. The Orioles are now at 92. Here is Freese already with the 2 singles. He has scored a run, 2 for 3 in the ball game. David Freese off the DL today. Runner at first base. There are 2 down, and that will be foul back upstairs. 20,556. 20,556. The announced attendance for game 1 of the 3-game set against the Cardinals. 2 veterans over at first base chatting, Mertman and Lee.
Just think how many conversations they've had over the years.
0-2 delivery on the way, and Birkin will get a strikeout. But a run in, a couple on a hit, and a triple and a homer. 7-inning stretch brought to you by Jack Daniels Tennessee Honey. Fly straight, drink responsibly. tonight's Baseball Bash. It's for the University of Maryland Hospital for Children. It'll be at Dave & Buster's in the Arundel Mills Mall. There'll be silent and live auctions of great sports memorabilia to help the kids. You can learn more and get tickets. 410-328-3637. On the mound, Lance Lynn. A defensive change at third base. Freeze is going to come out of there. Daniel Descalso has come on to play at third for the Cardinals.
Yeah, you alluded to Descalso, one of the players that you talked about, you had to start. He's your utility guy. He's the guy you want to bring in when you have a lead, and they do have that lead at 6-0. So again, now when you bring Freeze back, all of a sudden you can mix and match as a manager. And Tony La Russa, it's not over because he's that type of manager, but he can take a little bit of sigh of relief. He's got a much more balanced roster.
69 different lineups have been used by the Cardinals this season, including tonight's game. With all the injuries that they've had, necessitated that, and tonight was yet another different lineup. Here's Derek Lee. So the Orioles now with a mighty road to hoe, 6-0, as the Cardinals offense has come alive here in this ball game. Against Britain, 4 runs, 7 hits, 5 2/3. Rapada in an inning, a run and a hit. Merkin giving up the home run to Holiday, still on. Loesch, no runs, 4 hits over 5. And Lance Lynn, the 24-year-old right-hander, working. Lee with a single, and he has flied out back into the screen off the fastball, 2-2.
So that's what, about 18 pitches, all fastballs, 91 all the way up to 94. Again, a college pitcher, as you mentioned, out of the University of Mississippi, and you know a little more about him. He's got a power arm. He throws a lot of strikes. That's what he did at AAA.
Here's the 2-2 delivery, and Lee will ground that to short. Terrio. Lee retired, 1 down. Kind of surprising. The Cardinal defense, which has generally been a big piece of their team, is 14th in fielding percentage in the National League out of the 16 ball clubs.
Well, you know, the one thing, and of course Pujols, again, he was hurt on the 19th of June. People forget, arguably the best all-around hitter in baseball, but also a great defender. So you lose him, that's sort of going to hurt. And then, you know, again, Terrio, probably a better second baseman than shortstop. So, and Freeze hurt, people like that. So again, it's not your full team and not at full strength.
Yet the Cardinals, the positive side of that for them, of course, is the fact they are only 3 games out of the division lead. Milwaukee's in first, then the Cardinals, then the Reds at 3.5 behind. And that has taken for a strike. Luke Scott has reached on an error and hit into a double play.
And don't think they don't scoreboard watch even in late June. They know the Yankees are ahead of them with the Brewers 10-2.
1-1 delivery, and that'll be taken. He didn't like it.
Well, it's a strike, though. It's a knee-high curve ball. First breaking ball he's thrown, and it's a good one.
Little discussion with Scott and the umpire.
Well, maybe not. Close enough. Well, that's been the strike zone. It's not like this is a great mystery. And I'm not saying that Luke should chase it. It's a ball. But it's been called a strike most of the night.
Yeah, both ways, right and left. 1-2 the count on him. Lynn's delivery, and that will be swung on and missed. And a little further discussion at the plate.
Well, it sets up this situation right here where, first of all, Lance Lynn gets to strike 2, and then he can just go out of the strike zone. And as good a fastball hitter as Luke Scott is, with that front shoulder, that torn labrum, maybe not getting to as many fastballs as he did last year.
4 strikeouts of 6 batters for Lance Lynn, and there are 2 down. Here's Reynolds. He has flied out and grounded out, taking the 0 for 2 in the ball game. Coming in with the 4th highest batting average over the last 10 days in the American League for Mark Reynolds, and upping his average overall to 225 in the year with the 14 home runs. And the pitch is going to miss outside. 2 balls and no strikes. He was out taking extra work at third base today with Willie Randolph. They're working on his feet movement, keeping them moving. If he gets flat-footed, that's when he gets in trouble with his throws from third. So they're trying to get him moving and kind of going back and forth and getting the glove down. When he can do that, he's solid.
Yeah, how many times have we heard it about infielders? They got to have fast feet. They have to have good balance. So, and you think about all the great infielders, and whether they're third baseman, shortstop, second baseman, so they had that all in common.
Back up overhead, no play, and it'll stay at 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Yeah, Mark's made as many errors this year, and then the Orioles now playing their 76th game as he did all last year. So again, good range. You make a great point, and I think they understand this, is that a lot of times when he has to think about it, the feet stop moving.
Yep.
Kind of like when I dance. You know, I got a big problem. Well, whatever they call that, I do.
No, you said dance?
Well, I don't dance, but I've attempted to.
Oh, okay. No, I wasn't.
Well, the feet, when you have to think about what you're doing.
It's tough to dance when you're not moving your feet. I agree.
Well, that's the same playing third base. Getting my drift here?
Much like you're dancing.
Yes.
Drifting. A 3-2 fastball. Man, that's 5 strikeouts in 2 innings worked. And it remains a 6-0 game. AT player of the game, the candidates tonight. Nick Markakis, he's picked up a double and 3 times to the plate. Kyle Loesch has got a chance to be the winner. No runs, 4 hits over 5. And Colby Rasmus, who has delivered a home run, and he scored 2 runs in the ball game. Text in your vote, A, B, or C, to 518-62. Here is Rasmus, and that second home run in 4 games and his 7th of the year came in the 6th inning as he unloaded. And I mean unloaded.
Well, he had 23 last year, so he's a big, strong kid, wiry.
Here you see the numbers on the night, and now 30 RBIs on the season. Molina and Hamilton will be due up in the inning. 0-1 delivery is swung out and missed. Jason Birkin remains on. He gave up a homer and a walk before recording the 3rd out in the 7th inning. We are now in the top of the 8th. Right back here with you for game 2 tomorrow night. Chris Jacobakis and Chris Carpenter will be going. And then on the 30th, it'll be Brian Mattis against Jake Westbrook in the finale of this series. There is Ryan Franklin in the bullpen. Orioles will face some real tough pitching. And they go to Atlanta as well. That ball popped up to Hardy. He's got it. Braves have scheduled Jar Jurgens, who's 10-3, Tim Hudson, who's 6-6, and Brandon Beachy, 3-1. It'll be Guthrie, Arrieta, and Britton for the Orioles.
Not going to get any easier when you go to Atlanta, one of the top teams. And I watched Jurgens pitch the other night, and boy, he could spot his fastball. And then Buck Showalter saying, "Did you see that Brandon Beachy kid last night in Seattle beat Eric Bedard 3-1?" I said, "Oh yeah, checked him out, got him on tape." Boy, he's got some good stuff. Just come off the DL. So, and then we know Hudson. I mean, not only did Hudson, has he pitched well, he won a game as 2 starts ago with his own home run.
National League East has already come down to Atlanta and Philly. That one will go to right. Markakis is there, and he puts it on. Braves right now are 4.5 games behind Philadelphia. The rest, Washington, New York, and Florida. Yeah, there's a lot of games left, but they're not going to make it.
Yeah, I think the reason Atlanta scares you is because of their pitching. I mean, the back end, Kimbrel and Venters, the left-hander, sinker baller at 96. Kimbrel can throw about as hard as any young pitcher over there in the National League. Great slider. So you get in the postseason against those teams, could be tough.
That one will be backhanded by Lee. Berkin will cover, and that's that. No runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left on. We go to the bottom half of the 8th inning. Pitcher dominated ball game with key hits for the Cardinals, and they're up. For every Orioles walk this season, Care First Blue Cross Blue Shield is contributing $50 to the Living Classrooms Foundation. To date, the Orioles have drawn 232 walks, a total of $11,600. Care First Blue Cross Blue Shield encourages each of us to take that first step towards a healthier and more active lifestyle. He's been a starter, he's been a reliever, and he's coming out of the bullpen.
And he's been a closer. In fact, he was a closer opening day. First blown save since 2009 at home after 15 consecutive. But again, you know, a guy that relies on control, good cut fastball. I just happened to be watching that opening day game where he had to throw strikes, and as Dave Duncan again helped him reinvent himself, as you mentioned, starter on some teams that weren't that good up in Seattle. Found a home at the back end of the bullpen, and he had years where he had 2 years ago 38 saves, 27 last year, but right now it's kind of mop up. Yeah, that's what he was on last time he pitched up in Toronto, threw a couple of home runs, but this is get you into the 9th inning, maintain this lead, and get some Orioles out.
Shawnee, Oklahoma native will be facing the Orioles' Robert Andino. Then Hardy and Markakis. Andino is singled and struck out in the game. The Orioles, they've had only 2 runners in scoring position, and that was back in the 1st and 2nd inning. They have stranded a total of 5 in the ball game, but have never really had much of a threat, even in early going. Andino will take it away for a ball. Brian Franklin trying to get some work in. He hadn't worked in 10 days before the appearance on Saturday night, so he wants to get some pitches thrown. Here's the 2-0 delivery. That's going to be to left field. Holiday over. One down here in the 8th inning. Don't forget the voting ends on Thursday midnight for the 11 All-Star game. You get to vote up to 25 times. You can go to Orioles.com and cast your vote for some worthy Orioles like J.J. Hardy, Matt Wieters, Adam Jones, whoever you think deserves to go. And for the other ball clubs, too. Visit Orioles.com, cast your ballot. Vote early and often. Actually, you can't vote early anymore. Just vote often. And the pitch is taken for a strike. Hardy had a 7-game hit streak ended in the ball game 2 days ago, and he's gone 0 for 3 in this game, hitting into a double play, has ground out and struck out.
Yeah, there's a good curveball after strike one with a heater at 93. Another very important fact about Ryan Franklin is that his brother Jay represents Dylan Bundy, the Orioles' #1 draft choice this year in 2011. And of course he's asked for $30 million or so. Nice.
See,
I don't know. Well,
no, I'm not.
Yeah.
I hear that number thrown around all the time, but my sense was it was to get rid of some ball clubs he didn't want to go to.
but what? There's probably about 30 of them for a high school pitcher at $30 million.
Yeah, but
yeah,
you know how those things go.
I understand.
The teams he wants to go to know the figure's not serious.
Right, and then of course, but they ask him, and of course he is
sure.
18, and he said, well,
30 million.
30.
Heck.
Okay.
What's the worst that can happen? They say no.
Yeah, you get 7, 8, or 9.
Exactly.
Yeah.
2-ball, 2-strike delivery to Hardy, and that's going to miss. And a 3-ball, 2-strike count.
Steven Strasburg got the most, whether 15 million, and of course after he had dominated college baseball. There's been some high. Porcello got a bunch of money. They did drop him all the way into the draft because of the signability.
And fouled.
You're seeing that Franklin, again, Andino all over that fastball when he had to throw a strike. And again, the ability when he's at his best to throw enough strikes to get them to swing at balls. And when the count goes 3-2 and the scoreboard 6-0, you need to throw a strike here.
Here's the 3-2 to Hardy. He did, and Hardy got a hold of it. Left center field, way back, and goodbye! Home run! And the Orioles are on the board. J.J. Hardy's 11th, 30th RBI, 6-1.
So there go the best numbers for any shortstop in baseball since about May 21st. We talked about Franklin threw 2 home runs in Saturday night, and here another launch shot. Camden Yard at its best. Again, bat head to the ball, right down the middle. He needs to throw a strike. J.J. waiting, and the Orioles now trail by 5.
J.J. Hardy, don't make a mistake. You will pay for it as he continues to have an unbelievable offensive year. Here's Nick Markakis. Nick with a double, 17-game hit streak, 1 for 3 in the ball game. Orioles get their run on their 6th hit, and that will be fouled away, and a 2-strike count. Everybody wants to just pass Hardy and have a little touch and see if some of the magic can rub off, because boy, right now.
Well, not a lot of pitches in the middle of the plate tonight till that one, and that's how good Los was, and then Lance Lynn came in and was overpowering.
Hardy is hitting .370 in the month of June, and that is the 9th home run that he has had this month. Amazing number for a player that on the season many thought might have those kind of numbers, much less a month. Here's the 1-2 delivery, and Markakis will take it down low, 2-2.
Well, I talked to Tony La Russa. He's managed against Hardy when he was playing with the Brewers. And you had Dave Duncan, the pitching coach, who does all the scouting reports. He said people have to remember that J.J. Hardy was hurt. He is now getting back to the player he was with Milwaukee when he hit 24, 26 home runs. So they saw firsthand how good a player J.J. is when he's healthy. And the Orioles are certainly seeing that.
And that's what scouting's all about. Fans do forget, easily so. There are too many players and too many injuries and too much going on to remember it. You are what you put up on the board for fans, but for scouts and things, it's about seeing what may be behind it. That is a foul ball. Nice play by Berkman, though, as he guns it back to the mound.
Well, he's feeling good. I don't know if he's feeling that good, but he's the one that said, and this is not doomsday. What we need to do is have collectively a big game. Maybe that'll turn it around. And to this point, that's what they've had. Yep.
He can't help but laugh. Nick Quinto was giving him a little what for there. So the pass over the middle. 3-ball, 2-strike count of Markakis. 1 down, nobody on. 8th inning with a run in for the O's. And that'll go to left field. That's a base hit. Well, you can see why Franklin has garnered the mop-up duties as the struggles for him on the mound continued.
You know, there's a tendency when you're struggling to squeeze the ball. You want to try so hard. That'll get Tony La Russa on the phone. And there will be a fire alarm out in that bullpen because they have a 5-run lead, and Dave Duncan will make his way. How many times has he done this? Because he was a catcher, a bonus kid. He used to play against him in the instructional league. Got about $100,000. Charlie Finley, of course, he was one of those guys that came up with Catfish Hunter and Blue Moon Odom.
Tony Duncan is out there. The bullpen just getting active. Salas, closer, will get up and get ready to go. For Ryan Franklin, he came into this ball game. His batting average against him was .353. That's the third highest among the qualifying relievers in the National League, and the Orioles have picked up on it.
Well, we need to go to the Mike Flanagan try easier, because you're struggling. You want to do well. You've had a history being able to do that, and then, boy, when you try to throw harder, it just doesn't go harder. It straightens out. You don't hang. And again, it's not really about velocity. It's about his pitches are ending up in the middle of the plate.
So Jones will try and take advantage of him with Markakis on at first. Still only one down here in the 8th inning. Orioles now with 7 hits to 9 on the board by the Cardinals. And that pitch is going to be outside. Adam here in the homestand now. The 0 for 2 in the ball game tonight is 4 for his last 15. But again, this is where Franklin makes a mistake. Ball could be out of here. 1-0 delivery. That's going to be a base hit into right field. Markakis will head over to third base. Jay into the corner. Willie's going to wave him home. Here comes Markakis. No play. An RBI double for Adam Jones, and it is a 6-2 game.
Yeah, nice at bat by Adam. I mean, he just pokes it, goes with it. He can look away. It's the hitter's count. Right here, they're going to hold the runner. But again, when the throw is bobbled, so they get to it very quickly. Puno's going to go out. And again, when that ball hits right here, and there goes Willie Randolph sending him, and then Punto says, you know what, I have no shot at home, and here comes Tony La Russa. You've done exactly what you want. Get to their bullpen, even though it's their closer.
First game of a series. Each team tries to get as deep into the other team's bullpen as they can. Obviously, one, that means you're doing something at the plate, but two, it also makes it a little more difficult to manage the pen for the rest of the series. So Franklin is out of there, and the Orioles have a runner on at second base and only one out in the 8th. This copyrighted telecast presented by authority of the Orioles may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Orioles. So it took the Orioles until the inning to get on the board. They've pushed a couple across. Fernando Salas comes in, 5 earned runs you see surrendered in those innings, and a couple of home runs have been hit off him of late as well. The Orioles would dearly like to add to that number right here.
Yeah, well, it comes out of the Mexican League. So a guy that, again, Franklin was their closer last year, struggled early. Fernando comes on. The important number, and that's what they're looking for right here, 12 out of 14. And has been hurt by the home run, as you mentioned. Doesn't walk a lot of guys. You like those numbers. Only 9 walks in 34 in the third innings.
He is 26 years old. He's got Adam Jones at second base. Only one down. Vladimir Guerrero has singled, 1 for 3. Orioles DH hitting at 283. Goes after the first pitch and fouls it off. Salas was a rookie last year in the 27 games that he appeared in. Spent most of the year at AAA, working as a closer in Memphis, and then coming up as a middle reliever, and now into the closer role. 1-1.
You know, not a flamethrower. I mean, 89, 92. He had a real good changeup, spike breaking ball. You could see him put that index finger up there. Like a changeup that goes straight down. So again, the Orioles still looking for that first base hit with runners in scoring position.
1 ball, 1 strikeout on Guerrero, with Wieters waiting on deck. 1-1 delivery by Salas, and that was a tough pitch to get a bat on.
Well, it's about a foot inside. You know, Vladdy sees it, but the ball well off the plate. So instead of being 2-1, look how far inside that is. But that's his style.
Salas has held the righties to a 200 average, lefties 196. He's given up 3 home runs. Jones off second. The 1-2 delivery set up outside. Jones will stay. Terrio will get the out. 2 down.
A quality pitch right there. Again, a spike breaking ball. Boy, it's nice to have an out pitch.
He's got one, and that's why he's got the closer role right now. Here's Matt Wieters. Matt has had a single, flied out, and struck out. Cardinals trying to get out of a 3-game losing streak. Orioles trying to put a couple of back-to-back wins together. And Wieters lifts it in the air to center. Rasmus is back. And a good job by Salas. The Orioles, however, will get a couple of runs on 3 hits, including the home run by Hardy to make it a 6-2 game. Orioles baseball on Masson is brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Southwest Airlines' new Rapid Rewards. Unlimited reward seats and no blackout dates. Gary Thorne, Jim Palmer. Ball game delayed by rain for 28 minutes in the 6th inning. But the Cardinals have just rolled on here, picking up 3 runs in the 2nd inning, all with 2 down. RBIs Hamilton, Punto, and Terrio at the top of the order. Rasmus a home run in the 6th inning. Holiday a home run in the 7th inning. And then the Orioles getting a couple of those back in the 8th on the homer by Hardy and the RBI by Jones. Birkin remains on the mound and will work to Nick Punto, who tripled, scored in the 7th inning. Then at the top of the order, Terrio and Jay. And that will miss for a ball. Nick Punto coming into the season with a .247 lifetime average. He hit .238 with the Twins last year. In the air to left field, Luke Scott. Punto with a 2-for-4 night.
Yeah, one of those guys that when he puts the ball in the air, that usually means you made a good pitch, because he wants to hit line drives and ground balls, and as you mentioned, bunt his way on. But once again, he does interject a winning environment to this lineup, because that's what he did with the Twins. Played on teams that went to the postseason.
And that will bring up Ryan Terrio. Terrio an RBI base hit. He's 1 for 4 in the ball game. Last year, split time with the Cubs and the Dodgers. 0-1 delivery. Fastballs taken up high. He was acquired at the end of the season in a deal. He was a hired gun last year to try and help the Dodgers out at the end. Pitch will be taken up high. 2-1 strike count. Terrio's had good numbers. Major League .284 career hitter. That's pretty good.
Yeah, not a lot of home runs, but a fair amount of doubles. He can steal some bases. 28 one year, 23.
Another college player coming out of Louisiana State, LSU's program. 2-2 strike count on Terrio. Birkin gets it in. Lee gets the stop. Great play. Gets the out.
Well, I don't think that Tony La Russa and the Cardinals haven't seen this before. A plus defender. That's a double. Nope. Derek Lee's over there. It's an out.
Amazingly quick, the reaction time.
Well, you know, he said a lot of it comes from playing basketball. He said it was his favorite sport because that's what he had to do to really work hard. Not only hitting ever came natural to him, but fielding. Boy, he does really have the agility that you need as a fielder.
Here is Jay. He will take the pitch inside for a ball. Jay has a sacrifice fly. That came in the 7th inning. Pick up an RBI. And he will punch that one foul.
Well, so many good at bats by the Cardinals. As we mentioned, 3 runs or less, 10 out of the last 23 games. They're 8-15. Only won 3 out of the last 15. 8-15 in June. 3 wins in the last 15 games. But even the sacrifice fly off a tough lefty meant a lot.
That's going to be a base hit. So Jay is on with a single. And the Cardinals reach double digits. A 10-hit ball game. Boy, this is the kind of game they have been waiting for. Along with all those numbers Jim was talking about, their average in June, .233. Their on-base percentage was .298 coming into this game. And they had the highest ERA in the majors for the month of June at .495. So, I mean, every aspect of the game was real bad. Dwyer was sitting in there on the computer before the game with the hitters going over what they might see from Oriole pitchers tonight, and so far for the Cardinals it's worked. Take a look here. Holiday delivering a single in the 5th, and in the 7th inning, see ya.
Yeah, well, he was on the DL. I mean, they've had somebody said the other day on their team where we have a good team on the DL. Well, Freese came back, Puno came back. He had a quad problem, appendectomy early in the year, so he missed a bunch of games. Polos got off to a slow start and then became Albert-like and then broke his forearm.
Cardinals, to a man, talk about the beginning of the season when they talk about this slump, because they also had a tough start. They were 4-7 at the beginning of the year. And they said, we look back on that now like, you know something? It's good. We realized we could come back from that right from the get-go, and everybody thought we were, at the beginning of the year, just 11 games, and we were going to fall apart. Not so.
Yep. Well, those are the numbers you alluded to. So you struggle. But they averaged 2.8 runs in the first 8 games. The next 8 games after Tony La Russa went on to a rant and said, "You think Pujols can't hit? You think Holiday can't hit?" 8.4 runs over the next 8 games. That was their average.
Same thing Buck Showalter talks about, that for most players at the major league level at this point, when you get to the end of the season, they will be at the level you expected them to be at most of the time. There will be some exceptions, and those are the players who either get rewarded or get moved. But usually you are what you are. And while there are extraordinary years, and for younger players, breakout years for the veterans, Buck Showalter continually says, we're not going to do anything quick here. It's a long season, and guys will rise to the level of expectations in most cases.
Yeah, and Holiday is he's 31, but he signed through 2016 with an option for 2017. So
buy a house.
Yes,
or a couple. 2-2 delivery down to third, and that is foul.
You know, it's funny, he played in this in the American League, but for a real brief time in 2009 in Oakland, and we saw him, and I'm going, didn't look like the guy that, you know, hit 36 home runs, drove in 137 runs, and then again he came back to the National League and much more comfortable in the NL.
Runner on at first with 2 away, 2-ball, 2-strike count. Top of the 9th inning, the Cardinals on top by 4. Jason Birkin, left field. Luke Scott going back, up, and oh, what a catch! Luke Scott robs Holiday of a home run, up and over the left field wall, and may pay a physical price for it. But a great play. This glove is into the seats. A long way in.
Extra postgame, Jim Hunter and Rick Dempsey. Closer already in the game. He had to get the final 2 outs in the 8th. So if the Orioles, at a minimum, what you want to do, you want to make this guy sweat.
Yes, you really do. But, you know, the Cardinals come into this series, Jim, only win in 1 of their last 6 games. But somehow, even without Albert Pujols in that lineup, they manage a 4-run lead going into the bottom of the 9th. The Orioles need a big one.
So it's a 6-2 game. Bottom of the 9th coming up. Stay with us afterwards. We'll break it down. But now back to the booth, Gary and Jim.
All right, Jim Rick, thanks very much. There you see what the Orioles have to do here. Here's Luke Scott's catch.
Terrific play right here. 7-foot wall. Everybody's giving him kudos right there. I mean, there's Jason Birkin, because that looked like it might get into the seats.
And he seemed to be okay once he got back to the dugout. He limped in a little bit, but once he got back in there, it looked like he was all right.
Well,
so that's just a couple of runs.
Yeah, the collision with that right shoulder that's been bothering him with a slap tear, that front shoulder. So, but not a game saver, but certainly a run saver. So now you're only trailed by 4.
Here's Derek Lee. Salas came on, got a ground ball fly ball to end the 8th inning. Their closer stays on. Birkin, by the way, extended his outing, longest outing of the year for Jason Birkin. 2 1/3 innings, a run, a walk, a strikeout, and 2 hits. And that will be foul tipped at the plate by D. Lee, who has singled and 3 times up. Orioles avoiding the shutout on the Hardy home run and the RBI double by Jones in the 8th inning. But beyond that, they have been held down. Kyle Loesch waiting to see if he gets the win. He would be 8-4 as he worked 5 innings, giving up no runs on 4 hits. Zach Britton, the pitcher of record for the Orioles, if they don't come back, will be 6-6.
Yeah, that would be, of course, a huge win, not only for the Cardinals, but Kyle Lohse hadn't won a game in June, even though he's pitched well enough. And there's that spike breaking ball, and a good one. Well, the one thing about Salas, 91, but again, his windup and his extension, I bet 91 looks a little bit more kind of like Koji Uehara. 88 seems 93, and then he finishes them off with a curveball from down
Davis
below.
will pinch hit.
So that tells you a little something about Luke Scott's shoulder, you would think. Hopefully it's not serious.
Blake Davis pinch hitting for Scott, who had an 0 for 3 in the ball game. One away in the bottom of the 9th inning. Luke said before the game today, we were talking with him about the shoulder, said it varies from day to day. It always hurts. It's just what angle I get it at determines how much pain there is in there. So you're thinking about it, even though he tries not to. During the offseason, they've got to go in, and that they've got to do some stitching on the top part of that labrum to put it back together again. Recovery time, he said some have been quick and some have taken a substantial period of time. 1-1 delivery is swung on and missed. He's just trying to make it through the season.
Yeah, I think ideally, it's a decision, again, the medical people, the Oriole front office will make. Maybe if you fall out of the race, maybe that's something you do in August so you can come back next year and be healthy. Yep. At least you'll think about it.
And Davis will foul it off. Let's take a look at what the voting is like on our AT&T Player of the Game. You still have time to cast your vote, A, B, or C. 51862. Results on the O's Extra post-game show. Our statistician's a fine Cubs fan, so I want to make sure we get in the score. Giants 13, Cubs 7 today.
Wasn't that the first game of a doubleheader? How are they doing in the second game?
They're losing. And they're 2 down.
Yeah, another low strike. Larry Vanover, his strike zone has been ample. Nicely received, framed, whatever you want to call it.
Orioles have struck out 9 times in the game.
Well, it's a perfect example that if, Kyle Lohse with 4, you moved the ball around, made some great pitches. Lance Lynn came in, powered the ball by people.
So 2 away, bottom of the 9th, 6-2 as the Cardinals 1 out away from ending their 3-game losing streak and picking up a win here in their first visit during the regular season to Baltimore, and a strike taken. Mike Reynolds 0 for 3 in the ball game. Orioles just throttled in this game. 1 inning, the 8th, where they were able to get a couple of big hits. That came against Ryan Franklin, who gave up 2 runs, 3 hits in a third of an inning. Otherwise, for Lohse, Lynn, and now their closer Salas, Buck Showalter's team has not been able to get on the board. Here's the 2-1 delivery, and that will be taken for a strike. 2-2.
Now change-ups, sliders, spiked curveballs, whatever you want to call it, fastballs. Totally unpredictable. You can see how he's getting some saves. Throws a lot of strikes and makes quality pitches.
2-2 delivery on the way. Orioles coming in 6-6 in interleague play. The Cardinals at 4-5. Best teams in interleague coming into the day have been the Angels and the Rays. They're both 9-4. Then the Yankees and the Giants coming in 8-4 each. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Reynolds will take it, and he's on with a walk. Felix Piet will come on to pinch hit for Andino. Two down and a runner on at first base. Piet overall at 243, 4 for Subban though as a pinch hitter with a pinch hit RBI.
Yeah, the Orioles 12 for 26 as a team. Great job. Datton to get the pitchers up. What are they, 7 for 15? You can't because it's have to wait for a pennant.
Salas with a 1-0 count on PA. Left out of all this, Nolan Reimold. Like Showalter talked about it before the game. Reimold has become a platoon player, hitting against the lefties. Had a streak where he got to play almost every day because the Orioles were facing lefties every day. But for Nolan now, it's been sit and watch. Runner going down to second base. Into the defensive indifference for Reynolds. And a 1-ball, 2-strike count on PA. That will go foul outside of first base. Cardinals have doubled their output of runs in interleague games that they had been averaging in this one. Here's the 1-2 delivery, and PA reaches and foul tips and stays alive. Reynolds heading back to second base. Salas trying to finish it off. Cardinals 3 games above 500 at home, even on the road coming in. And PA not giving up the at-bat, keeps it 1-2.
Yeah, you're seeing a little bit of Felix the way he hit last year. Average with runners in scoring position well over 300. But getting a lot more at-bats 2010 after he got healthy the last 2 months of the year.
Again, the 1-2 delivery, and PA to second base. Short hop played by Punta, and this one is over. So the Cardinals have come away with a victory. Loesch 8-4 the winner. Britton the loser 6-6. Good job by Salas to wrap it up. The Oriole bats were quieted by the Cardinal pitching. Game 2 coming up tomorrow. Chris Jacobakos will take the mound against Chris Carpenter. Our coverage will begin at 6:30 on MASN HD with O's Extra, presented by Verizon 4G LTE. Our game at 7. For Jim Palmer and all of our great crew here at Camden Yards, I'm Gary Thorne. Thanks, everybody. The Cardinals win this one 6-2. This has been